Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the lateness, for the tardiness that I have shown today. Sorry, no musical introduction, no warning signs, no labels. It just is what it is. Um, I had an issue come up, and now I've got another phone call. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second here, and I'll continue to be right back. All right, now I'm back. I have sent the link to the good Admiral. We'll see if Admiral Gibbs makes it. He had a 30-minute phone call that he had to attend to. I have had just a really weird, disjointed morning, but that's okay. Things happen every day. Yeah. So welcome. Don't even know if anyone's here still, but we'll find out. We will find out. All right. Where am I at? What am I doing? Don't know. Let's see who was here. The Steel Man was first in line today. What about that? That's pretty impressive. Um, and then next up, my buddy Kevin. Are we not minions? Jumped in. Smoking Spaceman came in. That was cool. Good to see you. Uh, Chairman of the board came in. John Burt, and then me. So not a lot of peeps out there right now, but we will. Let me fire up over here and let everybody know that we are live, bro hams. Um, let me make some stuff happen here. All right. Yeah, no excuse on my part. Just I was all set to go, and then I didn't go. I had things come up. I had some things that needed to go down. Needed to get make things had to happen, and you know that's what happened. So yeah, pretty cool. So let me throw some stuff out there to the peeps out in the hoods. Sorry about being late. I hate being late, by the way. It's one of the one things that's just annoying to no end. I don't like it when it happens to me, and I really don't like it when I am late myself. Ooh, gonna edit that for Mr. E kills me. There we go. All right. All right. What shall we talk about while the Admiral is not here? Well, how about the show the other night? How many of you guys caught the show? Any of you guys catch the show? I actually thought the other night was lit. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really cool, especially the first half. Now, one of the things that kind of happened midway through was the we had Jess up. I like Jess. Jess is okay, but man, I don't know. I don't know. She basically could not find anything that she felt like she could debate for or about or whatever. Um, and that was tough. That was tough. But otherwise, the show was lit. I liked every part of it, except for the end. The end could have been a little better. Um, the But that's okay. Things happen. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Almost done here. Give me just one couple more minutes here, and I'll be lit. And we'll get into it for the day. All right, that's it. Coming from the chief simp, I got to be honest with you. That's not that. I don't know how that's my fault coming from chief simp, chairman of simps. Um, and he's going to blame it on me for having women on the show. That just shows a lack of dedication, man. It just does. Got a debate coming up tonight over on Prime Kai's about the Muslim or the proposed Muslim uh, uh, planned community, engineered community, whatever they're calling it now. And it's got basically, as I understand it, it's a basically a church. It is called um, it's Epic, right? That's the name of it. It is stands for East Plano Islamic Center. Now, this sounds like a pretty innocent thing, and we're going to talk to Gibbs about this when and if he shows up. But it sounds pretty innocent. But what they're trying to do now is they've got a real estate investment group, and they're planning a small town. The town would be called, um, I believe they're going to call it Epic, and it would feature at least 1,000 homes, a mosque, a faith-based school, which means Muslim, and a community college. All Muslim. And so there's a couple of things, obviously all the normal issues with it are going on. But there's a bunch of really good arguments against it, not so many arguments going for it. And we're going to talk about this tonight. The idea of such a master plan community is very interesting to me because anytime Christians or white nationalists or any of those people, want to have a master plan community, it is met with very swift and certain pushback as being a bad thing. And yet there are people, especially on the left, who think that it's a good thing. And yes, smoking spaceman, kind of like Gaza. Um, and I agree with actually based Welshman. I agree with the premise that it's voluntary segregation. However, that's one thing. If it was totally voluntary and it wasn't one group of people building a town, literally building it a master plan community, one entity's building it. Okay, there's gonna be one church. There's a very real concern that Christians will not be welcome, even though they've said that hey, that we're not gonna oppose Christians. Um, Voluntary segregation is fine. If and just like um, you know, when my wife was looking for an apartment for us in New York, we looked at apartments in where the fuck it was, not Hoboken. we looked at apartments in a very specific part of New York City in a specific borough where it's a lot of Asian, like a lot of Asian people, like it's mostly Asian. The thing is that it's not strictly Asian. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's some. I think there's some interesting dynamics here. I can't wait for Grid to come on. I mean, Grid for Gibbs to come on so I can talk to him about it, and we'll get into it. As far as again the debate panel the other night, the I'm not promoting the far left. However, actually, I'm going to talk about that based Welshman. We're going to get into that. Um, I'm not looking for exclusively left, but I got to be honest with you. I'm shocked at how many left wing debaters that I had on. I'm positively ecstatic, honestly, with the way that they conducted themselves. We didn't have any. We had a little bit of spurging, but not a lot. If they lost, they were great about it. If they won, they were good about it. It all overall, not bad, not bad at all. And I have to have people willing to come into the space, even though the chat is boiling them, even though they're getting bullied in the chat or wherever on their discords. Hey, that's cool, but on the stage they did a great job. Uh, yeah, Steelman did actually do a lot better, I think, than a lot of people gave him credit for, and he did when you push for him to calm down, he would calm down. The base Welshman. So I got to address this. You are from the UK, and that's actually in my notes. And the UK actually has, even though they're not official, the UK actually has Sharia law courts in London. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I don't know how you can really do that. There are 85 plus unofficial Sharia courts operating in London and other UK cities. They deal in family law, marriage, and divorce. And these are not friendly to women. Not at all. Spur gave the black guy peas. That's funny. That's funny, Zach. What's up, Zach? Diecast? That's pretty funny. To be honest with you. That's pretty funny. Oh, they're over 150 now. My info could be out of date. I got 85 when I looked. Um, and the thing is that you'll see that this is often contested. They'll say, "Well, it's not really that you can't go there." Well, it absolutely is if you go there and they throw you out, or if you go there and you're subject to laws that are not the laws of the land, right? Like that's pretty interesting. Uh, Britain may be the new caliphate. To be honest with you, it very well could be. Um, Mikey Balls was not the troublemaker the other day. We all know who the troublemaker was, and we can't do anything about it. I mean, more than I did. The interesting thing is that what was being done in the chat is like redlining the TOS, right? Which it it's not going to get the stream taken down, but what it does do is it pushes the stream down in the algorithm. That weird algorithm thing that we're all hearing about all the time, right? Um, and while a lot of people believe that the TOS is not, the chat is not really as subject to TOS, and that's to some degree true. What happens is that if you say something like, if you say the the F space at you know, um, if you say that, or you say the British cigarette term that rhymes with ag, if you say that in chat, if you type that out, yeah, it's probably it's not TOS and it's not likely to get the stream taken down. But what it does do is that when um, the stream, well, first of all, it's very likely the chat will not be included as part of the stream. Second, as my understanding is that the in the algorithm the stream gets pushed down, so it's an issue. My sub count went down by 27 over the last few days. 27 people. Let me check that to make sure. Um, make sure about that. I could be wrong. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean it's like I'm just stuck right around that particular area. So yeah, all right. I missed a lot in the chat. How did the troll battle go? I didn't get to watch it. I haven't had time to watch that yet. What's up, everybody that's coming in right now? Waiting on Gibbs to clock in and do some work. Let me send him a message and light a fire. He did tell me a little while ago that he had a business call. He had to take a work call, and it was going to take about half an hour. So let me see. Um, throw him the link there. Yeah, yeah. So hopefully he's there. He's watching. All right. So anyway, uh, Gibbs will be along shortly. Um, the Yeah, I don't know. Look. I enjoyed the debate the other night. We're gonna have tomorrow night, assuming that my day doesn't go to complete crap like it looks like it's going to do today. I'm gonna have I'm gonna be thinking about how I can make it better, and hopefully, I'll have an announcement for you guys by Wednesday or Thursday. My week is just falling apart, and it's just Monday. I'm supposed to go out of town. I was supposed to be back this weekend. Wasn't going to interfere with anything, but that may not happen now. So the we'll see, guys. We'll see. Did have Nonfon on screen for a while. Yeah, I did. Look, Nonfon did really good. Nonfon, um, he doesn't want to discuss social issues. He doesn't, so he wants to stick with mostly economic issues, and he did very well. He did take an L, and that's okay. He'll come back stronger. He's going to go refine those arguments down a little bit. So that is kind of the goal. One of the things I think is very awesome, and I don't know that anybody else really would find this like super awesome. I find it very very cool, and that is that um, what we kind of organically developed was a review of of the debate, and a critique by your peers before you leave. And I thought that was awesome. So You forgot what they were debating about. You don't know what the actual disagreement was. Um, it wasn't a pro tax debate. It was EOD and non-farm were debating about um, who should be taxed and how much. So one of the interesting pieces of feedback I got, guys, let me, because you guys are impartial for the most part. You really don't give a shit. What's up, Brooks? I see you came in. By the way, I see Lord of Pies has joined us along with EOD 696. Um, and a bunch of Emmett, Ericar Oak has jumped in. So welcome to all of you guys. Tiki Tack, welcome to you, sir. Um, uh, One of the things that seems to be a point of contention is the idea of the $10 bounty, the $10 buy-in to gain a seat at the table. Um, I was on the fence about this, but I've had multiple people that I respect tell me that it is the way to go. I tried it. Didn't really, it's kind of a different way for it to work this week. I want to try it again more organically. Maybe not this week, but maybe the week after. We'll see. We'll see if we can even do one this week because again, my travel schedule is ever changing at the moment. I may not even be back before Monday. We'll see. So um, the what do you guys think? Do you think the buy-in to be a part of the debate, to sit at the table, is an out of bounds thing? Is that something that you guys don't agree with? Um, I'm curious. Curious about it. So anyway, Gibbs says that he'll be along in just a minute. His call is running a little bit long, so he's probably another 10 minutes out or so. Um, you're impressed with Tiki Tack's breakdowns? I was impressed with everyone's comments. Right. Um, the one thing I'm going to give Tiki Tack massive props for this in the battle with between EOD and I believe it was Non-Fawn. Non-Fawn, everybody was talking about how impressed they were with Non-Fawn's arguments and chairman of the board um, the and Tyler were both like all of this right and the at the end of the day, it's Tiki Tack came out and said no. Non-Fawn's argument was not, and I agreed with Tiki Tack. I found the same exact thing that Non-Fawn's argument was largely disjointed, nonsensical. He largely made basically he was arguing the same thing over and over and over again, but he didn't want to. He never actually went anywhere with it. He was basically because I said so, because I said so, and Tiki Tack was the only judge that called him on it. I thought that was absolutely impressive. So I don't think it was non-farm versus EOD, but right, yeah, any tax over 9%. Yeah. So I just wanted to point out that I was absolutely impressed with all of the judges this weekend. I got to be honest with you. Tyler did very well. Tyler went home and said he lost sleep because he was critiquing other people's debates, but that he was being 100% honest. That's really cool, honestly, because you should second guess your critique. Yeah. The Lord of Pies. The thing about the buy-in is, see, I don't really care about funding the winner's place. I don't really care about Look, let's do some simple basic math. The people who are saying, "Well, this funds the winner's place." Let's do some basic math. We're gonna have maybe 10 people. I can have up to 15, I think, but really, we tend to have 10 people on the panel. At $10 each, that's $100. Mathematically, it's better for me just to do, even if I drop the price on the battle, even if I dropped it 1v1, one or two 1v1s, is more than the cost of the buy-in. The idea behind the buy-in is because I want you to have some skin in the game. I want you to feel like that you're not just up here rambling around. And what I have observed, and please correct me if I'm wrong, when you get a free spot at the table, you don't really give a fuck. And we had we have that we get into this thing where we can't get a debate topic because who cares, right? Everybody's just going to agree, even if they disagree, even if they actually disagree, they will literally just sit there and say, "Ah, I agree too much on that," or no, we're on the same side on this one, or some bullshit like that. And I want it to be a little, I mean, I want people to argue outside their comfort zone. So, um, the problem is that there's I've never seen a debate show that had a theme that actually worked for multiple debates, right? So, like, if I were to pick a subject, right, of um, if I were to pick a subject of women's rights are in the news today, what do you think? We would get two debates out before they just started being repetitive, and then nobody cares. The audience is not going to be engaged. The way the first 5 or 6 debates went, the audience was super engaged. Especially Glenn on the abortion argument with Bonsai, um, or not Bonsai, Buckaroo. Um, uh, the Both the non-Fonz debates were killer. Um, EOD, all of EOD's debates were really good. Um, the Who's the other guy? Steelman made great debates. I'm gonna be honest with you. Steelman made great debates. Um, it was well worth it. It's just the thing is that all of I don't know. I'm on the fence about this, guys. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. Yeah, EOD. This is actually my point about that. Hang on, I gotta scroll back. I'm gonna put this up on the screen because this is important. Yeah, so this is the point, right? Where what was happening is, and this happened a couple of times with people, is because they want to seem like they're on, even though I don't believe for a second they're actually on the same side. Um, no, you were not Tiki Tack. I think you were absolutely 100% correct when you called Duck and Eat. Now, Duck, I enjoyed Duck's character. Let me get through this EOD thing. We're gonna revisit Duck. EOD says he didn't give a fuck. He'll argue whatever. But there were a lot of instances the other night where he had two folks on deck, and they were like, what do you want to talk about?" No, see, that's the thing is that I we can't have that situation again. Either you're going to have to be able to argue. I could go maybe 3 topics, right? 3, 4 topics where you're like, I just don't really care about that. But there's no fucking way that two people, even on the same side, agree that much that they can't take a position and defend that position against somebody else. And this is one of the reasons why I honestly believe I may up the entry fee. I may up the entry fee because I don't want idiots that can't debate that are just doing it to sit on screen and just be on a panel for 3 fucking hours. I want people that are going to get up there and be like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I can beat you in verbal jujitsu, bastard." And you know, wear your big boy panties, ranger the fuck up, or whatever soliloquism you need. I'd rather have that than have a bunch of people just sitting up there, panel buzzards sitting on wire. What the fuck do I want those people for? I'm not going to do it again. Not going to do it at all. Absolutely not. This is not. Look, this isn't another. This is not other game shows where you just sit there for 3 fucking hours. That and just sit there and sit on the panel and fuck off. Like I don't even want to have the panel up. You guys noticed how long, how little the panel was up, right? The panel was not up long, right? Like it was. We got up. We figure out who's debating. Maybe talk a little bit. Bam, you're in the back. So there's that. Now let's talk about Duck. I wish Duck was here. Duck made a honest, really good argument, but he wasn't arguing what the topic was. He made like this massively esoteric argument that had this much to do with the actual subject. And for that, he had to go. Tiki Tack was that right? And that was another one where everybody's like, "Oh no, he did really good." And I'm like, "No, that fucking guy didn't do anything." So, what's up, Jess White? How are you? Get off my lawn. Anyway, where the fuck is Gibbs? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back over here and tell him to stop being so wordy. All right. Lord of Pies, I don't know that we have any access to I don't know that I can do that. What's up, Logical Spark? How the hell are you? What's up, Jonathan? He says, let me read this. He thinks the last 2 shows were great. Love the format, and I think I even enjoyed it better than VK. Careful there. Would love to see more of it and maybe even participate if possible. Yeah, man, absolutely. You're absolutely welcome to join in anytime. We are going to have to move the show though. It's just the way it is. Logical Spark, I'm sorry to hear you having health problems, man. EOD 696. If you can do website stuff, we need to talk. But I mean, we operate in fairly narrow confines. I don't know that we need a list of debate topics. Well, so Lord of Pies, I don't think I can get it any quicker than I have it, right? And it went well up until we had Des and Glenn and Beth, and there was another delay too. I don't remember the delay. I mean, look, you're going to debate some weird. All right, Gibbs is on the way. I sent him a message saying to tell whoever he's talking to buy high and sell sober and get the fuck in here. So what's up, Darth Grumpy Dad? Good to see you. Let's see what we got here. I saw somebody else come in. Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, cool. But I really did really and truly enjoy the other panelists and the judges critiquing the debates. Now, that's not to say that. So what? All right. So in the first episode, Gibbs made it. Don't forget your nose candy, brother.
Oh yeah, I wish I had some.
Whoa. I got to turn the sound down. Give me a second. You came in hot.
Woo!
How the hell are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Living the dream here. Living the dream.
We were just I'll give you a second here in a minute to introduce yourself. We were just kind of talking about the debate panel that I host on Saturday night, which we're going to end up moving to Friday night. Jonathan, so here's the thing. This week was the first time I had tried the bounty to sit at the table, right? So an entry fee, $10. I figure anybody can afford $10 if you want to debate. $10 is $10. And is there a prize? Yes, I give a percentage of the donations received that night. Now, ideally, that means that everyone that comes up to debate brings all of their peeps with them and have them donate to the show so that they get a bigger amount at the end of the night, a bigger cut. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know that I even expect it to, but that's just the idea. Lord of Pies, there's an entire. I have an entire tab in my Discord dedicated to debate topics. Now, whether or not we're going to cover those 300 debate topics in a night, I don't know. So I guess just be good at debating. Gibbs, how the hell are you, man?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. You know, fun stuff going on here at work. How you doing?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I honestly didn't. I'm sorry I was late.
It worked out fine.
See, what happened was.
Tell me what happened.
We took the Jaguar into the body shop yesterday, dropped it off on at the key drop, and so we're down to the C350 and my truck. My wife doesn't drive the truck. And so she went to take her mom to a doctor's appointment, and because we didn't get a rental car, we're like, oh yeah, we have plenty of cars. Who cares? Goes to take her mom to the doctor's appointment. Mercedes won't start. So apparently, there's an issue with that version of the C series that the ignition lock mechanism will just fail, and it's part of the theft system, anti-theft system. So it shuts the car down. Can't start it. Won't start. It won't even turn over. The displays don't even come on. So I had to make an appointment with Mercedes and go pick up a rental car like 30 minutes before the show started. So
that's no fun.
It is no fun. And I have to listen to my wife tell me about why we took the Jaguar in for the bumper to get fixed. All this other stuff. So
that's always the most fun part. Most fun. Yeah. Is listening to people, specifically the wife. Yeah. Who doesn't generally, in my experience, know that much about cars, tell you why you fucked up somehow.
Yeah. It suddenly became it wasn't my problem until it was my problem.
Yeah. And half the time, it's your problem after you've already warned them. It's going to be a problem if they don't do XYZ. Yeah. Not that I know from experience or anything, but
yeah. So if there's some anyway, Gibbs, so you want to tell everybody about I think this is your first actual time on the show, just chilling.
Yeah, I do a political streaming mainly on Twitch. We're working on getting the YouTube monetized, so check me out on my YouTube as well, Admiral Gibbs and everything. But yeah, I'm a political streamer. I do. I own a ranch in real life. I own a B2B sales company, an exotic leather customs company. I live here in Texas, and we like to talk politics and fight the evil leftists. Now, I will say, Thursday it's gonna be fun. One I got 2 back-to-back debate panels planned. We're gonna be having all. I have about 15 lefties on Thursday at 5, and they're gonna be telling us why the Dems lost and what the state of the Democratic Party is. And I'm really excited to watch them eat their own because I'm seeing this thing in the trends in the news right now where Trump is doing bad with polls, and then they asked Schumer, I don't know if you saw this video about his polling at lower than 17%. He's like, well, polls come and go, and I'm really looking forward to watching the left live in denial on Thursday, and I can't wait because it's not just a river in Egypt. But yeah, that's me. That's what I do. And I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, dude. The how big a ranch do you own?
It's big.
Like 10,000 acres?
Yeah, I mean, if you combine my ranch with the rest of my family's ranch and like under the trust that owns the shell company that manages like all of it, we all own them individually separate, but like we have like a co-op kind of thing that
Sure.
like runs this. But if you combine them all, it'd be like the 5th biggest in Texas. So like mine is like I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but it's large. The reason I don't know the exact number is because I also own like a bunch of land in like Dallas that's in the Justin Fort Worth area that's getting like rezoned, and so it's like some of it one day will count as the ranch, and the other days it won't. It's whatever, but it's several thousand acres.
Yeah, sweet. So, what do you think about tonight's topic?
I'm excited.
You're excited. I figured you would be.
I'm gonna do a little more research, but
I did a lot of research this morning.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do after this. I've had an interesting morning. I went to bed at 6 a.m. because I usually go to bed, and because I work nights, and I woke up to my house being like it raining. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get some good sleep, and then I woke up and my cat's just like screaming, and I'm like, why are they screaming? Then I woke up and I'm like itching, and I realized that I have like 0% humidity in my house for some reason. I don't know what's going on with the AC, and I've been just like for the last like hour and a half. So it was terrible. Yeah, I'm sitting on a phone call. I'm like looking like, yeah, it's gonna be an itchy weekend. Not the best time. But I'm gonna research after this. But it's interesting because on one hand, I have like mixed feelings because like I'm an individual liberty kind of conservative, right? I like my economic freedom. I'm not quite a libertarian because I like to take other countries' shit. But when I'm sitting here and hearing like, oh, the Muslims want their own thing. Like on one hand, I want to go, yeah, cool. If you're a religion, you should have separation of church and state. On the other hand, I don't want foreign powers, like whoever they are, like having little miniature city states within our country. That's a problem. Like I think.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it so far?
Well, so I've listened to a bunch of the arguments this morning. The biggest one, my favorite one right now, is that there are two. First, I don't believe in I don't believe in master plan communities. It becomes this kind of like, I hate to use the word cultish, but it becomes kind of a cultish sort of thing where nobody else ends up being able to live there, and so that model, that model is exemplified by the thing in Oregon, which I can't pronounce, the Swami that came over, and they actually built a town, and it was labeled a cult, but what it really was this guy was just like stupid rich, and got more stupid rich, and he owned all of this land, and he pushed, if you didn't like it, he pushed you out, and they had their own police force, and they had, they basically did a bunch of different things, and ended up like they had some of their members convicted of bioterrorism, and all that kind of stuff. It was really it's very interesting. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't like master plan communities. And if we try, and literally every time that you have a white nationalist, Jewish, or whatever conclave that tries to do this, it's broken up because you can't. You're not supposed to do that. But yet here, the rhetoric's a little different. There's also some Fair Housing Act issues, which I'm not really sure hold up. Um, but I think if we look at like even where people have been able to self segregate, right? And if we look at France, UK, especially UK, Germany, and that kind of thing, the UK right now in London has 85 unofficial Sharia courts.
So I was talking to iCal last night about that, and
Mhm.
Dallas had that problem with the Sharia courts a few years ago, where like two of them ended up getting like investigated for
Mhm.
things. I don't remember what the outcomes were, but I know one of them got shut down. But I don't know like for the full outcomes. But I do want to say like Texas is a weird place about this because like I would say the overall mindset in Texas, right, is very much to like you do whatever you want, leave me the fuck alone, right? Like
Mhm.
I literally have like the come and take it flag like right here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's like you don't fuck with us, we won't fuck with you kind of thing. Now, the problem I'm seeing here is that like on one hand, I also agree the master plan communities are kind of sus. However, I don't know if you remember, but there was this little thing called Waco that
Yeah,
happened.
I was gonna
Yeah,
get to Waco, but I figured
yeah,
I'd let you bring it up.
yeah. It was Waco happened down here, and that was a big problem. And I like if you really look at it, like they shouldn't have gone in, and that was the federal government, dropping their balls where they shouldn't have dropped their balls.
Well, I was
And
Janet Reno trying to prove that she was butch as anybody.
yeah, and so when I look at this, I'm worried that we're going to get another Waco situation. However, there's two things that have been happening in Texas in conjunction with is one, we have been finding Chinese nationals buying all sorts of land. And I,
Sure.
for example, some of
Mhm.
it's, I don't know if it's even what I'd call like nefarious, where I think it's like Chinese government. Like some of them are absolutely like where they're buying land near power plants or building bases, and that's sus. But there's also Chinese nationals like I don't remember which company this guy was, but he was the son of like some Chinese billionaire, and he bought a bunch of land out in the middle of nowhere. And then we had those blackouts during the freeze a couple of years ago, right? And they go and start looking over all the records, and they find out, well, part of the reason we had the blackouts in certain areas is because, well, this one random area was being taxed for all its power. And so they go, well, let's go investigate this. And they go, oh, well, this might be a drug farm because they scan it from the heat sensors. They see it's really, really hot. And that's like just like greenhouses. Like, well, we're going to have to investigate this. So, what wasn't a greenhouse? It was a crypto farming facility, and it was just milking like the power grid,
Yeah.
and it caused the so like there's all these litany of problems where we have foreign nationals here, and they're specifically targeting Texas because of the business environment, and I think maybe because of the conservative leaning is you want to really get into the conspiracy theory territory, but I like wonder about this because it seems like there is some foreign group that is tangentially attached to this that is like, and I don't like that at all. Right now, I like on the other hand, like if the Catholics wanted to start up their own private, little church group thing,
But
what
we're
do you have a
not
problem with the
talking. So
Amish?
that's an interesting point you just made.
Yeah, but do you have a problem with the Amish
Yeah, right. But we're not talking about. We're not well, and the Amish is a great example. We're not
or the
talking
Midianites?
about.
Like they're fine.
We're not talking about 100 families that just kind of live where they're at and everything. We're talking about 1,000 homes, a faith-based school, faith-based being Muslim. We're talking about a community college that is again run under the Muslim, which I have no problem with it being a Muslim-based college. It's just all in one area. It becomes, as one of my chat said, Gaza East,
I mean,
right?
we might make Gaza Texas West and soon enough though, or whatever,
Yeah.
if they keep acting up.
Um, I just it's very interesting. I mean, basically, this is the this is the elements that they've admitted to. Now, remember, we don't even know the whole plan. This is just what they've admitted to. What they've admitted to is 1,000 plus residential homes, a central mosque for worship, a private K through 12 faith-based school, a community college or religiously affiliated educational center, retail hubs catering to religious lifestyles, halal stores, modest clothing, all of that. So I don't think you're going to be able to get Christian Dior in there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is that
No, no, no. I'm not done.
Oh,
I'm not done.
Right.
Gender segregated public facilities in alignment with Islamic values. Parks and family areas designed with religious customs in mind. Likely homeowner covenants or guidelines promoting Islamic values. That's what they've admitted to. That's not what, it's not the totality. It's just what they've admitted.
Yeah, I like, and on the surface though, right? Like, I don't have a problem with like the Amish, right? I don't have a problem with the
Right.
like the Midianites, you know. And
I don't.
I have a problem when I go like, so y'all know, well, I guess your chat won't know, but I fucking hate this guy. His name is Counterpoints. He's a not
I was watching Connor get lit up by Fabian Liberty last night.
I have not seen a beating as bad as that in a long time. Like, he took that boy behind the woodshed and gave him a whooping.
I got to be honest. I'm just going to sidebar here on Connor for a minute. Look, I don't know Connor that well, but that dude's a leftist. Like, there's nothing that comes out of his mind. I literally wanted Fabian to ask him if I can have my full auto suppressed SBR, or if that's a problem for him.
No, it is a problem. He wants you on a list for having it. Like,
and
and that's his most conservative take is guns. Like,
I mean, he is. I don't understand how he can use the word conservative when he refers to himself. There's nothing he's conservative on.
Well, this is what I was about to say, right? So he talks about like I'm social conservative. Okay, well, what is
right?
That?
Yeah. Heard that.
And he's like, yeah, I want family values. I want this. I want that. Yada yada. Okay, cool. That sounds like maybe you can sell me as a conservative. Then you actually start examining it. Now, I grew up in Texas. I have blue eyes. I have red hair, and I have very white skin. I'm actually Latino. Right, I got my fucking poncho here ready for Cinco de Mayo. Like, I'm ready to go.
You got your 23andMe all squared away.
I did. I'm like 98% Spanish. But so I'm sitting here going, okay. I get brought in by, I guess, surprise. There are some racists here in Texas. Wow, no one would have guessed.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
And so, like, they would my whole life. They'd come up and tried to like bring me in, thinking, this guy's probably one of us, because and then they talk to me, and then I would like beat the fuck out of them in high school or older. I'd like talk shit to them or like disappear after I found out, And every one of them there's two groups. There's your like Confederate racists, like you're like, yeah, I don't particularly hate the black people. They just need to keep their own. And then you have like the Nazis that have the dog words, and he uses all the Nazi dog whistle words, right? And what's crazy to me is he talks about this conservative values, and he doesn't mean conservative values or social conservative values, because then he would be a huge fan of Hispanics, but because they're all Catholic, they all want massive families, they want to work, and they want to have kids. I'd rather have, now I know this is like maybe not going to sound good to all of my conservative friends here, but like I would rather have 50 legal Mexican immigrants that want to come work minimum wage job, pop out 1 million babies, and they want to be Americans, than 50 of these lib-cuck lefties that live in California that want to fuck up my country and make me pay more taxes. I'd rather have all these guys and none of those guys, right? Like, and maybe that's not a hot take, but whatever. So when Connor's like, I want my culture to be protected, and then he's like, but I don't want these Hispanics. Well, it's clear you just don't want them because you're actually a racist. And it's clear to me at this point, because he's not conservative. He turns into a fascist and wants central planning the minute you press him on stuff. And Fabian straight put on a clinic last night. And
Fabian, I think Fabian needed a little blood after the Jay Dyer thing, and he got it last night.
Oh yeah, he got it in spades.
I'm waiting to have. I hope he's involved in the debate tonight. I haven't actually seen who's out there, but I'm waiting for that to happen this evening. The interesting thing with Connor is that if you look at him, you think that guy's probably conservative. He wears the mask well. But he's a leftist, 100%. And look, I have no problem with him being a leftist. I had Non-Fon on last night for 2 hours or whatever. He was the other night. He was great. Non-Fon was. I got no problem with somebody being a leftist. Tyler's in the chat right now.
Yeah, his biggest problem is that he's duplicitous and he's like an insidious actor, right? Like he goes on pretending to be conservative and takes away a slot from somebody that is actually conservative on all these shows.
Yes.
And then Fabian was wise to this long before I was. I'll give Fabian credit for that because Fabian interacted with more. And then you get in there and you find out, all of a sudden now it's actually on a 2v2. It's not 2v2. It's actually 2v1 and a third guy saying that he's on your side and then really saying, undercutting you every time and saying, well, I'm a reasonable Republican and making you look like a crazy bastard. That's what it is. And Fabian got wise to that. It was absolutely correct in calling him out on that, like originally. But yeah, he got stopped. It was really I would have hammered him a little earlier, I think, because when he started talking about ag, it's clear to me he doesn't know ag. Like he starts talking about all these things with inflation. I'm like, you're just fucking wrong. Like, and then I that's where I would have jumped in. But like I was invited to the panel originally, and I warned Leader that if I went on there, we're probably gonna both lose our channels because
you and Connor just can't be in the same.
Well, no, because I'm gonna call him out for his fucking white supremacist Nazi.
Dude, he is. Dude, that dude. There's something wrong with it. But I did enjoy Fabian taking him apart last night. I watched it. Stunk of it before I went to bed.
It was great. Well, I was gonna say, especially when this is when I knew he had won, was right after the ag thing. They start talking, and Connor regurgitates his point, and I like make fun of him as he does it. Right, like I paused the video, and I put on like this bullshit accent, and I started like ha 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 ha, ha like clapping like a monkey, and I was like, "What did the big brain take?" And then Fabian just goes, "Oh, well, thank you for regurgitating my point that I made in my opening and explaining it back. It's so wonderful to see these leftists now understand trickle-down economics when it comes to this." And he about snapped, and I heard his voice crack like twice. He's like, "Well," and I was like, "Bro, you're about to cry." Like, Fabian's got you by the ball. It was embarrassing. I would be embarrassed to show up on a show after that. Like,
anyway, so Connor's an interesting guy. I've only been on the panel with him the one time.
I hate him.
I think that he's got, I don't think he wants to be on panels with actual conservatives at all.
No, because he gets exposed the minute he does. Like he I think he had filled that role for so long, and then like conservatives came back to like the online space and kind of took it over, and now he's lost his spot as I'm the cool righty kind of thing. But yeah, he actually exemplifies the biggest problem. I watched, this was a really interesting one, was with Visora and Wick. And I've been telling everybody that will listen, the reason why the Dems lost is because people got tired of being condescended to. And then she goes, conservatives have no empathy. Well, you know what? It's not that I don't have any empathy. It's whenever I had these illegal aliens destroy my fucking fencing, and I called the government for help, they said nothing. And then I had illegal immigrants eat my cattle, and they did nothing. And for the last 15, 20 years of my life, I've had friends killed by cartel members, and they've done nothing. And then I bitched about this. And when they finally started doing something is when we shipped the illegal immigrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard and Chicago, and suddenly the people, the African Americans, are going, "Oh God, these guys are taking our benefits." And then the people in Martha's Vineyard are going, "Oh God, this is not so fun having hobos walking around the streets all night. I fucking hate it." And they got mad and they did something. So don't tell me I'm not empathetic. When we came to y'all with a problem and on panels, y'all said, "Ha ha, rich white landowner." I'm like, I'm not even white. I just look at y'all are sitting here screaming, "Rich landowner, fuck you." We don't care about your problems. And then now they're going, "Oh, but the agriculture industry is going to be hurt by this." I'm like, I am the ag industry. You know what I'm saying? It just blows my mind. They're not empathetic at all. They just use whatever. And then all their points are manufactured. It feels like Connor was sitting here reading off a list of things to say. And whenever Fabian went any deeper, he couldn't go deeper because it's just a manufactured.
He has this tactic of he then asks you some dumbass question like, define socialism. What's your definition of this? Spell Occam. And I was the other night he got lit up because I could because I've actually read shit and yeah, he's a weird dude, man. I don't know.
He does that. Well, two things. One, Fabian will like when he was talking to him, he really made this tactic real clear that he does like on there. He goes, he'll ask you the question, and then when you're answering it, the minute he realizes you're going to give an answer that can actually like debunk him, he won't let you finish.
Right.
And then he'll resort to like the define thing, and I'm like, no offense, buddy. I have like your degree is literally from DeVry or ITT Tech. I have my degree right fucking there.
Yeah.
Like you can like what I'm saying. I actually did go to school for this shit. Like you're not going to sit here. I don't need to sit here define socialism. Clearly, I know what socialism is. This is not Destiny. You're not Destiny. Like no offense, Destiny's a better debater than you are. He can get away with that because they're trying to define a framework.
Tim Pool lit him up as well.
Yeah,
Tim Pool embarrassed Connor.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it's just like very like he tries to do things and he doesn't understand why they're doing them a certain way. Like the definition debate thing. That's a Destiny style tactic. Destiny does the definition to like define a framework, and then if you have to work within the framework if you allow that definition. Connor,
which is as it should be.
Sure, and when you get to like Connor doing it though, you'll be like halfway through and he'll be like, well, that's not socialism. And he's like, this is socialism. And I'm like, well, you're only using definition one. Like, well, if you really want to get down to it, let's break out the Black's Law Legal Dictionary, buddy, and start doing this shit. And he fucking, and then he's like, well, you're just going to pick definition. I'm like, you pick which one then. I'll read all three of them. You pick which one you like. Like whatever tactic you do, it's not good. And then he like one time he's like, Gibbs doesn't know what a conservative is because I'm a Burkean conservative. I'm like, yeah, okay, but like bro, in that case, I'm a
conservative, so that's not a conservative.
Yeah, and then he goes, I was like, well, that and I just to be a jackass because like I'm pretty like laissez-faire with my like. It's like, I want to do some drugs. The government needs to not worry about it. I want to worship Satan in my house. I don't. But if I wanted to, the government needs to not worry about it. If I want to have a ritual of demons coming out of my backyard, like as long as they ain't leaving my property, the government don't need to worry about it, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? So he's over here like talking all this shit. And I'm like, well, in that case, I'm an ancient Greek conservative. Like, Dionysus is my patron saint. What you gonna say now? Like, the fact that you're not gay makes you a liberal. Like, like.
It's so interesting because I think Connor, I don't think Connor can debate this specific topic about the Muslim community. And I find it interesting because I kind of want to steer back to that. So with the Amish, the Amish do not have the same sort of communities that about what is being suggested here. They live amongst us, right? Like they don't, it's not a planned community, a master plan community. It's just the Amish had farms, and now the English, as they call us, have built around the farms, and they don't care. They could give a fuck less. So I don't. I'm not really sure that I know that parallel is going to be drawn. I'm just not sure that a parallel can really be drawn because the Amish follow all of the standard laws, and then they have their own internal religious beliefs that they don't hold as law. I don't believe, and
but the Catholics do.
The Catholics certainly do.
They have their own Catholic canon court. So how's that any different than a like Sharia law court? Like in theory. I mean, in theory.
Well, I think in theory is because you don't have to show up for Catholic court, right?
I mean, technically, you don't have to show up for the Sharia one either. But like, if you live in that community, they're gonna be like,
I don't know. Well, all right, now that actually brings up an interesting point because if this is a town, and I'm glad you brought it up because now I get to drop the hammer that I'm going to drop tonight. So let's just say that this is a master plan community. They have schools, churches, everything else. It stands to reason that not only are they going to, they will have a town police force. That police force is probably going to be is going to be Muslim, and they're also going to have a town hospital, which will also be Muslim. So how are they going to feel when the hospital will not offer specific treatments because it conflicts with Sharia law. How are you going to how are you going to feel if you happen to be a white Christian living in that community when um, when your when your daughter is accosted for being a whore because she wore a miniskirt and the police will do nothing about it because according to the Sharia law that is correct.
Yeah,
these are interesting points, right? Now the thing is the Amish don't give a fuck if you're not Amish. They could give a shit less. And
yeah, but you
and
can
the
still
same
live
thing
there
with
if
the
you're not Amish
Catholics.
because you like electricity. Like
Yeah,
I can't go live in an Amish house. There's no power going to it.
Catholics, the Catholic canon courts are only for Catholics, and they don't care if you're not a Catholic, it doesn't matter. But Sharia law is everyone, it believer or non believer. But
Well,
you're only entitled to fair treatment under Sharia law if you're a believer.
I mean, yeah. I don't know that it's any bigger or worse issue than some of these towns in California and in the north that are allowing um, aliens to vote. That's even bigger problem. But here's something interesting on the
Sure,
note that
sure.
that you brought up just now is they might this. I almost kind of want to let it play out for this reason, and because I think this could break the alliance between the left. Because yeah, us Texans, we're probably not so happy about Sharia law courts. However, just wait till that Muslim hospital doesn't want to give an abortion to somebody.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you're gonna have the Muslims versus the lefties, and whoa, buddy. I mean,
What happens when they don't want to give out birth control? Will not prescribe it.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, I might even be a more bigger poison pill than like the conservatives here, like in Texas, trying to stop this on its head. Like, I almost want to be like, hey, let's. But Abbott's doing this strategically. I don't think it's something that people are realizing. He's doing this because there's a large group of Texans that are oil people. And we remember OPEC fucking us, and guess who owns OPEC? It's the Islam in countries, right? So like they're all like, "Hey, fuck these guys! They take our oil." Like, and they're all gonna make sure that he's well on his way in perpetuity by doing this.
Right. Well, and I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can go down, but obviously, so would it then be? But and of course, the obvious answer is well, even if you live in that community, you don't have to avail yourself of those services. If you live in that community and the local hospital will not deliver your child because it was born out of wedlock, you're not married. Then I'm sorry that you're in labor, but go to the next town, which in Texas can be a far piece, as you
Well,
know.
I'll give you another example. That's going to be a place where they clash. In Texas, the usually when you go to like divorce court, women have quite a few advantages, although when it comes to kids, there's some things that the guys can do here quite a bit where they cause it be a problem. It's interesting because the worst fathers seem to be the ones that somehow get the most custody of their kids, and then the good dads are the ones that get boned by the system. I want to
Mhm.
see how that plays out in this Islamic community where all of a sudden they tell the dads they can't have access to the kids. And then these courts are like the Sharia courts are like, no, the mama does it. And then you have a clash between your Sharia court and an actual court, and then the actual court's going to win. I think that's going to open up all sorts of stuff. I feel like this is doomed to failure on multiple levels. That's why I'm not like freaking out about it. However, I do think it's part of this insidious thing like that the left is doing with like Beto. I think it's trying to like turn the state blue. They were like run like I just think it's another one of their long list of tactics. Let's get a city built in there that's only Muslim. We'll get a Dearborn in the middle of Texas, and that's our start of our stronghold.
I think the libertarians are going to argue um, that they have no problem with individuals building in a town and doing whatever they want, but since they will actually be installing a government, that becomes a problem for them.
Well,
Um,
they don't people don't factor in that Texas has its own brand of libertarianism, right? Like I'm not a libertarian, but I'm definitely like a borderline Texas nationalist, right? Like, and there's a very like libertarian slant to that, right? We want a strong like government in one regard. We want like a big military. We want like some things that give us advantages. We want some services paid for, but we also want like basically no taxes otherwise, or like instead of taxing us, we're going to tax oil or something like at the spout, right? And then that pays for our colleges. And like there's like
Got it.
different. But I definitely think that like the libertarians here are gonna be like, no, we don't want them messing up Texan culture. Like that's going to be a big difference compared to other places.
Who is Shiloh? Why would I have donated to Shiloh? Who is Shiloh?
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Shia LaBeouf.
Didn't Burning Man start in Texas? I actually think it did. I think it was out. Yeah, we don't know Shiloh. Sorry. Mold. What are you talking about?
Wants to be like a Shiloh these nuts joke.
Shiloh Hendricks. I don't know. I don't know who that is. What is going on in the chat? You dudes are going after each other. It seems to be Ticky Tack and Lord of Pies. Every time I see LOP, I think length of pull, but because I'm a gun guy. But Lord of Pies, what's up? What are we arguing here? You guys can come up. Gibbs and I will be the authorities.
Yeah, I mean, as my chatter just said, yeah, religious doctrine shouldn't supersede the Constitution, regardless of religion. I agree. I think that's like really the crux of it is Abbott's argued it's a shadow government that's like going to be run by a foreign power. Like, I wouldn't want the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't know if they're a terrorist organization or not, but I think if they're not, they're like terrorist adjacent, right? Like even if they're like pro democracy or whatever, I don't want them to have a town in Texas. I'm like, no, I don't want the Chinese to have a town in Texas. That like by the Chinese, I mean the Chinese government. You know, like I I don't want any foreign, operation group to have a town that they run in Texas or any state really. I think that's concerning out of many levels. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for the panel tonight. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna definitely research up soon.
You know who's going to be there?
I know iCow. I know you. Me. Other than that, I don't think he's made the group chat yet.
I don't think he has. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he messaged me that at like 5 this morning. And like I said, I was like about just literally going to bed when I said yes. But yeah, I don't know. It's something. I've been talking. Who do you think is like the next people in line after Trump? I think that Abbott is definitely putting himself in the run. Like right, like
oh, you mean who might run in 2028?
Yeah, and I think Abbott is definitely trying to be because Abbott can be like Trump didn't stop the border. Before Trump, I fought him. I fought the Supreme Court. I told them to go fuck themselves. I built the wall. They tore it down. I kept building it. Before they was doing it, I guaranteed this portion of the wall no days. Once Trump got in office, he helped me finish the job, but it was me that fought the battle, right? Like I can see him selling this, right? Then this be another one. You don't like the culture war? These guys are trying to Muslim up our towns. They're making it. I'm fighting them. I can already see Abbott like positioning himself for this.
Yeah.
And DeSantis tried to do that, but DeSantis had a lot of
I think you'll see the same. I think you'll see the same players in the primaries, right? You'll see Rubio. I don't think you'll see the DeSantis. I don't think DeSantis is coming back. I think he's had enough.
I don't know about that.
Huh?
I think DeSantis isn't done. There's a big like civil war in Florida between because Trump has made that his home base, where you see former DeSantis people and DeSantis and Trump people like they're taking over areas and like getting people elected, and they're like very big. Then you have like DeSantis and his like the neocon contingent that's left. I think there's like 4 big factions right now in the Republicans. There's MAGA, there's the DeSantis and the neocon like group because I think they've kind of teamed up. He's kind of like the last of the old guard, like Haley and them. Then you have some neocons that went to Texas, and you have like Abbott and his like culture war and the Texas kind of slant, and he has like some pool just because he's Texas.
Yeah.
And then you have the religious conservatives as a big group overall as well. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think DeSantis is. I don't think DeSantis is going to run. So I think it's going to come down. I think you'll see the same players. I think Vivek's going to primary again. He's setting himself up to primary. I think Vance is going to primary. I think Rubio will primary.
Rubio for sure.
The guy down there that you guys have, what's his name? Runs every year.
Abbott, the governor.
Not Abbott, the other guy.
Oh, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yes, thank you. So I think it's going to be those four that primary, and then I think you might see the chick come back. What's her name? Not Nikki Haley.
Oh, Nikki Haley was the worst. I like when people tell me they're like Nikki Haley Republicans. I'm just like, you aren't a Republican at this point. Like,
no, the chick that wouldn't drop out because she just thought she was still in it. She forced Trump to spend like a lot more money. I can't think of what it is. Maybe that was Nikki Haley.
I think it was Nikki Haley. Yeah, and then she like finally at the end. Yeah, she was the worst.
I could actually see Tulsi making a primary. I think Tulsi will primary so that she'll be offered a seat. Tulsi Gabbard. I think Tulsi Gabbard will primary because she wants to be Secretary of State or something like that, and so she'll primary. She won't make it, and then whoever. It's probably going to come down between Vance and Cruz. If I have to guess, it'll come down to Vance and Cruz. Vance will probably primary out. He'll be the guy, and then Gabbard will say, "Well, I'll be I'll take Secretary of State or whatever."
Cruz is just so hated. He like I don't think Cruz is a vibe. Like Cruz like on paper looks good, but he just like he's not really loved here. You know, it's just like what's the alternative? Like the alternative is so much worse. That like I'll fucking look like I'm the biggest Cruz fan in the world against whoever he's running against. But like I'm like, you know, versus like Abbott is hated, but Abbott is also like loved by like I love Abbott. I'm like they call him Hot Wheels to like talk shit about him, but I'm like, yeah, Hot Wheels take care of business. Let me tell you, you know, like you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I like Abbott quite a bit, but I think that if they both ran, Cruz would be boned.
Yeah, see, I think my opinion about Cruz is Cruz really thinks that he could win, but what he's really angling for at this point, because he's been primaried out so many times. I personally believe that that right now he wants to be selected as VP. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what you're going to see is Vance is going to win the primary. I don't see any way that Vance would lose the primary. I think he'll win the primary. I think he's going to add Don Jr. or Eric Trump as VP, and that'll be the ticket.
Yeah, I think maybe Vance for sure to run. I don't know. I think it's a long race. I think that there's a couple people that can like claim that they're the inheritors of MAGA or they're their own spin and they're going to continue the direction. I definitely think Abbott probably has the strongest case of like those people because
I think Abbott has a strong case, but I don't think he can beat.
I don't know.
The problem is that I have to look at it as what they're doing with Vance right now, and they're kind of keeping him in but out.
He seems like the heir apparent.
Yeah, they're keeping him in, so he looks like he's like cool and he knows what's going on and he's making making good choices. But he's out, and he's because he's not really a part of Trump's campaign, to change the world or any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that could either help or hurt him. They can all be like, you just are going to be Trump 2.0, right? Like, or it could be like you didn't separate enough from or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
it's going to be.
It's
a balancing act.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. Like I said, I think that those are the ones that are going to be that like for sure. The question I have right is like with specifically those two, Abbott and Vance, is that I feel like they're going to like. Maybe Abbott more so has this problem is that it's kind of like the abortion debate, right? After the Supreme Court ruled on Roe v. Wade, I said it's going to hurt us in the primary. Now, what happened was instead of it being a red wave, it was red ripple. And what we should have known was, Republicans were doing so good that even despite this issue hurting us, we still gained, right? And then we got the big landslide. But at the time, I remember going, oh shit, we should have won big. This really not hurt us, which is like true, but it's not as true as like when you look at the long term. I'm kind of worried that with Abbott, they're going to just immediately, all the left is going to be like, this guy has got to go because he's, if anybody's been in the culture war, it's him. Like that's the culture war fighter, right? Like, and I feel like it might galvanize versus like JD Vance. They're going to be like, well, he's fascist junior, but at least he's not the culture war guy, or they'll have a harder time selling it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess I see that, but what I guess I just think that I mean, I can't think of anybody currently. Now, remember, we're only 110 days in, but I just don't see anybody that could go head to head with Vance right now.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the clear front runner right now.
And the thing is I think that they're really looking to, and by they I mean Trump, the people that were behind Trump, and the people who are kind of anti Republican establishment, right? Like the people who don't want the people who Ted Cruz kind of annoys, and kind of because here's the thing is that Vance has thus far shown that he's at least open to living in modernity and dealing with the various aspects of um, what it means in the late 2020s to be a president. And Abbott's kind of on that train, but he's still I think he's probably seen as kind of a old guard kind of guy too.
I think the thing with those two is like Cruz is for sure like the old guard, right? Like Cruz, like
yeah, for sure.
Rubio is like whatever. Like this is the thing with Abbott, and I think that maybe gets him the pass. He does got some of the old guard, but he's definitely got a very much like Texas, like every year this guy donates. Him and Rick Perry do this every year. They donate fuck tons of money to Texas nationalist groups, and they win elections locally all over the place. And so he's definitely like, you can't call him old guard Republican when he's over here like, hey, if we secretly break away, I gotcha, kind of thing. So he's got his own little slant, and I think that's one of the things about it's like California, just being the governor of Texas. It's like if you're the governor of California, you immediately have presidential running capability because you're like the biggest state for this. I think that's like an advantage that he has that kind of puts him away from the old guard thing. And then Texas is kind of its own oil money backer, billionaires, not the rest of the Republican, incumbent people like Jeb Bush and them. I think that's the one difference. But yeah, I think he does kind of have the older persona, where JD seems like the fresh face.
I think we're gonna end up with probably Booty Juice or what's the other soft boy running. Think of his name. I think they really wanted New Scum, but New Scum is just he's
Buttigieg.
No, Booty Juice.
Yeah, Booty Juice. Yeah, Booty Juice. He over here going over to, I think he's a way worse candidate. He's well spoken, but remember he was the transportation secretary, and then he leaves the country in the middle of a giant transportation thing to go watch a basketball game a soccer game, and people are like, how's that any different from Trump going to play golf? I'm like, well, one, Trump is working on a golf course. Two, this is the transportation secretary leaving in the middle of a transportation crisis. You don't think this motherfucker not the day before he left and this happened, he leaves mid-crisis to go do this. I don't know if that's the guy we want.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. It's an interesting thing for me, right? But I do think that I don't think we've seen the Dem candidate yet. I think they're offering Whitmer up as a sacrificial lamb. I think they're saying, the whispers are is it's going to be Whitmer, and Whitmer first of all can't get elected, and second, even if Whitmer could get elected, too many skeletons floating around back there. So I just think there should be
about AOC and shit now too. And
I know. Well, they've been talking. They talk about that every election cycle. How AOC is the darling, and she just is in touch with so many different people, and how great she is. I'm like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah, what was it? Senator Kennedy was like, she's the reason shampoos got directions on it.
Yeah, no doubt. She is the reason that shampoo says do not drink.
Yeah, dude, that guy is hilarious. But like some of my chat just goes, the dude's got to go beyond socialists to keep their like weak ass clown show from dying. Like, I honestly think that they are. A lot of them are exhibiting that. Like, you have the two groups. You have like the Bill Maher guys that are like, okay, these guys won. We have to talk to them, right? And like, as much as I don't like Bill Maher, at least he's like, okay, we got to. They're ruling. We can either have a say or we have no say, or these other guys that are like, listen, we gotta. So I saw a thing, and it said on TikTok that's trending right now is a lot of the lefties are advocating to like kill Republicans, like and stuff, because any kind of scandalous content is promoted by the algorithm, and it's like the lefties are going further and further. They're like, we're bombing cars, we're destroying any Tesla we see. We're gonna protest outside people's work. We're gonna block off traffic. We're gonna like raise up these figures like Cahill Garcia, who clearly is a human trafficker now that we have looked into it. And this is the battles we're fighting. We're like, and everybody's little angel darlings, and these guys are evil, and we're just gonna go extremely far. And it's like, it's one of these two groups going to win, and one of them looks like they're winning, on that side. And I don't know that that's going to. I think it's something going to kill their party if they do this. Does anybody want to live in the state where you're killing the other members of your party? Like, I like the opposite. Like, I'm not saying Republicans don't have some bad apples. Like, we have those guys, like those guys that took over the Michigan State Capitol. And then we have, what were those guys? The Bundy family. They went and captured. Like, I wasn't too happy about that. I mean, the first Bundy family thing, I was like, okay, I'm kind of tangent on the other side. The second Bundy thing, where they went and took over in another state, they took over, what was it, like conservation facility. Like, no, that's not probably not good, right? But it's not the same. We don't have the same kind of thing where they're like literally blowing up cars and taking pot shots at the president. Like, that's that. How do you think this is a way to run your party going forward? Like, I know these are the fringe people in theirs too, but it's way more widespread, and it's almost like
Yeah,
endorsed
for
by
sure.
the media.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting thing. I just really, I can't get. I mean, unless somebody, a dark horse appears on the horizon, I don't see anybody being able to beat Vance. Even and I say this for two reasons. First, I think that he understands the modern implications of social media and the off-brand marketing, I guess you would say, like Zillow. I mean, not Zillow. Fuck it. X and Twitter and that kind of thing, or Twitter is X, whatever. And I just think he gets it more than more than other people do, and he hires the right people. So I don't know.
I'll tell you what I wanted to talk to you about was the economy here, right? I had an interesting convo with several people recently, and these are moderate lefties, so
Yeah, let's talk about it.
They brought up, they're like, well, the independents are going to leave the Republicans because at the midterm because the economy, and I go, well, and I said, well, maybe. That the question is how many, right? Because every midterm you lose some people, right? It's like you want to keep all control, but let's just say I believe how many. And the reason I'm not that worried is because if you talk to any Republican that I know that voted for Trump, they all were like, yes, there might be some initial pain whenever Trump undoes the system that's been done for the last, I don't know, 20 years, maybe more, right? When he does this, there's going to be some initial like feedback shock kind of thing. And then as the effects take hold, you're going to see improvement, like, okay, like tariffs on, okay, cool. So now, because of, China having unfair practices with grain, right? Maybe we get grain prices down. That's going to help other ag industries. Right now, the beef industry is flourishing because of the tariffs, right? Or manufacturing, and then you have supplemental industries that start, helping out from there because it's like, oh, we've now increased production here. Now we brought back chips. We brought, or not brought back chips. We brought chips here. We brought car manufacturing back. We made a computer, and it's like, yeah,
I think the left,
it's going to hurt.
The left just doesn't have their. I don't think I don't think the leftists in this country really truly understand the actual business of this country. And I say that because even fucking Connor was trying to pander to this bullshit last night that America's this service provider. We we provide, they're basically we're India. We're a call center like India, right? Like we're
Yeah.
customer fucking service. And I'm like, no, motherfuckers. We're still the largest manufacturer of goods in the world. In the world. Now, we don't make 25-cent plastic widgets. We don't do that anymore. We make Boeing 747s, right?
Well,
We make cars. We make trains. Our farm equipment is used all over the world. Even in the middle of a war, Russia is importing tractors, combines, and other specialized farm equipment from the United States. Um, and so it's an interesting thing to me. Um, and this is what I know. And I hit Nonfon with this, and it kind of took him off his game a little bit because he didn't know how to refute it. And that is um, the Treasury Department. I believe it was the Treasury Department. First of all, they said that in Q1, which we're just finishing out, Q1 Treasury Department spent 2 billion less than they thought they were going to. Q2, they anticipate, if nothing else changes, which they anticipate more changes, but if everything stays the same, they're going to spend $53 billion less in Q2. That's the Treasury Department. Now, that doesn't mean that they're buying less tanks. It means that across the board in the DOE, IRS, in staffing, in order, how many pencils are ordered, how many computers are replaced overall in Q2, they anticipate spending $53 billion less. And that's amazing. That's awesome. First of all, that's one of the ways that we actually reduce inflation. And it is a sign that inflation is being reduced, by the way, because it means that we may not actually be reducing the number of orders, but things may be costing us less. And they anticipate it to continue costing less. Another interesting factoid or factor is that small manufacturers, medium to small manufacturers, now that is defined currently as under 100 employees. Under 100 employees are considered a small business. Medium is, I think, up to 250 or 500 employees. I forget what it is.
Really?
And then obviously,
is that like the legal classifications?
I think so. Well, it's the financial classification. When I go to,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I know. Define the classifications.
Yeah.
Define it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Are we talking Department of Labor? Are we talking about?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, I just was like, I was wondering if that was actually a different. I didn't.
Yeah, no. I mean, anyway. So for small and medium sized business, actual manufacturing is up 35%. That's in 100 days. We've increased productivity through manufacturing 35%. Now that what, which means that, yeah, absolutely, the tariffs are having an effect. 100% they are. They're having the right effect, in my opinion. Also, and this is anecdotal, but I'm buying businesses right now. One of the business I looked at was local. It's an injection molding company, been around since the 80s. The guy basically died a year ago. Because he just would never fucking sell the company like a lot of boomers do. And now his kids have it. And they're going to sell it. The numbers aren't great for the past few years, but I talked to the broker and he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're still going to get $5.5 million for it. We have strategics out there that are willing to pay cash because they have to increase production. They're looking at it. They don't even care about what it made or lost the last 5 years. All they care about is that they can increase the volume of production of the shit they already make. You know what that tells me, anecdotally, is that our country is ready and it's capable and is willing and it is right now today responding to the tariff situation where things are not coming in, because why would you not?
Well, in addition to that, I was watching. I think maybe it was Rogan, and I looked this up after the guy said it, and he said basically that towards the end of empire life cycles, and I looked it up. It wasn't totally true what he said. It was a better way to put it would have been towards like time periods of like generally this occurs right before strife in an empire, or they fall. Sometimes empires recover, sometimes they don't in this, but you'll see a rise of like luxury celebrities, right? Like you'll have like the Gordon Ramsays, right? Like the chefs will be lifted up, and now they're like whatever. Or you'll have like, and actually I'm a good example of this, right? My exotic leather company is a complete luxury item, right? Markups are range anywhere. Our cheapest markup is 80% to the like some of them are like 600 like percent markups, like 6,000. Like one item, for example, we made for Chance the Rapper, and it cost us about 1,500 to produce, and we resold it to him for like 22,000, I think is what we sold it to. Crazy markups, right? Like, and total luxury good. The only exists in like an economy like ours. Like there's no like maybe like a Saudi Arabia or something that could exist where they have oil prince money, but like it's a total luxury item. Only exists like it. And so there's that would be considered manufacturing, kind of, right? Like in that category, right? It's like I guess it would be custom leather. I guess leatherwork is manufacturing. Probably in that range, right? So I never really considered it. But yeah, so like you're sitting there, it's only luxury manufacturing, right? But whenever what Trump's trying to do is bring the meat and potatoes back, where it's like everybody is manufacturing. It's not just like these high end, because you can't live on the economy that Connor's talking about, where it's service industry or it's really luxury industry and like supplemental thing. Eventually, the rest of the people that are not in those industries are going to die off, and that's a problem because I don't know if you know this, but when people aren't eating and aren't able to provide for their families, they're not happy. And lo and behold, nobody wants to work in a factory, but it's better to work in a factory than beg on the corner of a street. I don't know why. Like the Dems are really like, oh, I'm trying to push this narrative of like, oh, we don't want manufacturing. We need manufacturing. We can't let China keep out manufacturing us because they're not our friend. We can't let any of these countries do it. I just, it's crazy. What we need is fair. And then what they're doing is turning around and combining this with the immigration thing. And now I'm gonna give you a little backstory. I'm adopted. I'm the son of like a legal alien, right? And I'm adopted, and my adopted parents sold not like way back in their ancestry on one side, sold the cotton gin for Eli Whitney back in the day, right? Like some of his first sales. All right. Now, lo and behold, crazy that the Democrats now are making this, and I wonder if this is a total coincidence or not. I don't. That are making the same argument as the Southern Democrats before the Civil War made about big cotton being indispensable, and it's going to crash the economy. We need our slaves, and they're doing the same thing. They're arguing we need our slaves here to keep goods and prices down, and that's the only way to stop it. And it's amazing that the Dems would like slavery now, and you call them on this like, no, we care about the American people. We care about, and then they say we're not empathetic. And I come back to this empathy thing. I'm like, hold on. I care about these people getting underpaid. Yeah, I want them shipped out because they're legal, but they shouldn't be getting underpaid. It's hurting legal immigrants. You know who else y'all are talking about hurting? Oh, good. We want to buy from China where they have child labor. Oh, good. They're good. Vietnam, their goods and services are way better. Well, it's no big deal that they're all working in a sweatshop for a quarter an hour. No big deal. That's cool. Let's just empower the guys that run the sweatshops. We're such good people. We're empathetic because we care about Americans. Yeah, no, y'all don't have any empathy at all. It's just a talking point.
I mean that's a great point, but let me throw this one at you. I really like this point too. I had this in the back of my head. I could never express it, and then I was talking to somebody else, and they walked me through it, and now I feel like I expressed this pretty well. So it's very often claimed that Americans just don't want to do the jobs that pay $5 an hour, or $7 an hour, or $14 an hour, whatever the fuck it is. That's every single debate. I have a liberal tell me that. You know, you can't build a house, you can't own a house on it, you can't own the, you can't do. Well, that's fucking insane, and it's absurd. Both of those things are lies that you tell yourself so that you can rationalize justifying for someone that increases tax to the point that people cannot buy houses and cannot afford to feed themselves, and therefore rely on the state. But let me get back to the wage thing. So I hired a cleaning lady for my Airbnb last week. I fully expected her to ask me for $20 an hour because that's probably the going rate. Do you know what she asked for per hour to clean my 3-bedroom Airbnb? $12. $12 an hour. She thought that was high, because you know what, you're muted.
My cleaning ladies make a godly amount of money. They're fucking banking. Like, I think I paid this lady. It took her an hour and a half, and she deep cleaned the house. Like the whole house smelled like antiseptic, and it was bad for like this last amount. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd been super busy. I'd had guests in and out nonstop. It was dirty, and cleaning the banisters like with the toothbrush kind of shit. Well, it was like $2.25, and I was like, "Bro, you worked an hour and a half, and I guess the cleaning service makes whatever." But I talked to the cleaning service, talked to her, and she said she makes like 75% or whatever it is. I'm like, well, so that's like, I don't know, like $200 or like 180, like, I don't know, on top of my head, right? That she made in like an hour and a half of work. Now, albeit she was putting in the work, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not upset about how my house is cleaned. Like, I got my money's worth out of it, right? But, you know, like, bro, if I could be making 180 an hour, like, oh, that's pretty goddamn good. You know, like, it's just like in the industry. If you're good at your job, you get paid equivalently. Like, you know, if you're just not a very good maid, guess what? You work at the hotel. If you're a good one, then you work for somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really
that's accurate. I think that it's so anyway. So she makes Admiral Gibbs is just another lefty. That's funny.
Yeah, I guess.
So at any rate, I also happen to know that like I know multiple people that will work for reasonable wages, and I'm hiring people all the time now to do these jobs. And like, it's interesting because the people who talk about this bullshit must all live in California under a communist regime, because like they're like, well, I have a guy in this company that I'm trying to buy right now. I was looking through their finance. Obviously, I pour through their financials, right? Like I go through every fucking line, and we're paying the guy who assembles the electronics and programs these automated systems. He doesn't even make 50,000 a year, and he's happy. He's not going anywhere.
Is he single? I mean, that matters quite a bit. Like, if he's single,
well, he's old. I mean, he's an older guy. He's basically a fucking hippie. He drives a Volvo.
Oh, well, that helps out quite a bit then.
You know, I mean, but he's really good at his job. I mean, nobody in the company makes more than $80,000 a year. The owner was only paying himself $120,000.
Well, you bring up a good point here, right? So there's two people that I think, like, in my life that really exemplify everything you just said, right? One of them is my dad, and you brought up the Volvo thing, right? So I graduated high school in 09. So like my whole life, he drove like an '89 model Volvo, right? And so he pulls up like 2008, the year before I graduated. He's like, or '87 model Volvo. He goes, I got a new car, son. I'm picking you up. I'm like, oh hell yeah! And he picks me up in an '89 model Volvo after driving an '87 the whole time. And it's 2008. And I get in this new car. I'm like, this is the new car, and it turns off at the stoplights. Like, just like, I'm like, oh. Wow, he's like, it gets me from point A to point B. We don't need nothing more than that. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's fine. AC works, heat works, you know, drives, it just turns off stoplights. We'll be all right. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna ask no questions. You know, like, and this guy, and now he makes bukus of money. But like, he just retired. Actually, he was making bukus of money. But it's like he was willing to work that hard to get there and live off the high of the hog. All these other people think they need to have their Tesla and their $2 million home living in California. And oh, if I don't have that, it's not equal service. And then there's another guy in my life. His name is Juan. He came here legally. He got his citizenship. You know what this guy does? He works 3 minimum wage jobs to this day. He puts in like 80 hours a week. This motherfucker just bought a $135K home. He's got a brand new Porsche every year, and he just got married and got back from his honeymoon. He's about to have a kid, and the guy works himself to death. But he's like, "Oh, Gibbsy, I'm so happy. I have American wife. I'm about to have American children." He's like, "I love it. Oh, Gibbsy, I said life is good. American dream." I'm like, that is the American dream, and because he's willing to work. He's willing to work, and if you're not willing to do that, then I don't want to hear from him.
So Calvin Collage No, we're not talking about pay to the undocumented. I'm talking about pay to normal Americans.
Yeah, normal people that are citizens.
Normal people that don't live in a communist-controlled city. And I say that because, like, I listen to. Do you listen to Rob Noor very much?
No, sometimes.
Yeah, I listen to Rob Noor quite a bit, and he was talking one time about how he doesn't make that much. He makes, like, I want to say now he makes the equivalent of like $28 an hour, right? And I pay people various rates, and I pay competitively, but I've never found anybody that was making just a ton of money. You know what I mean? And it's very interesting to me what people believe that people need to live on. My mom, who's retired now, granted, she owns both of her that properties that she owns. She owns them both outright, but that's because over 40 years she paid them off. Um, her cars are paid off. I kid you not, she lives on $16,000 a year. She just did her taxes. She doesn't even qualify to pay taxes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why is it that Juan, this guy who wasn't legally here, became legal? He has zero education in Guatemala. He's got zero education in America. He barely speaks English, but because he's willing to work 3 jobs, he's living a decent life, and he's got a brand new Porsche. He's got a house. He's got a wife. Why? Because and he's got money in the bank. Why? Because he's willing to work, and you want to live off my welfare. That guy can do it. There's no excuse for you not to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And then, as far as the low-paid, undocumented, Calvin, we were talking about this earlier with the ag. I am actually very sympathetic to the plight of a person that came here and they didn't want to wait on a list and they wanted a better life and they wanted to come here and work. I'm sympathetic, but I'm sorry, you got to go because Monsanto is using you to like bring lower wages down. Like they can afford 30 people for the price of me having to pay 2 people. Like I can't compete with that. Like that's it. You're absolutely correct. Like it's just not. It's not fair. It's not fair. I can't do it. Like I mean, can you do it, Madrid? Like, no, I don't think anybody can compete with a company that's able to spend, get 30 people for the price of 2 people. It's just bullshit. Like the lefties are using wage slavery. I mean, I don't know. It's awful. And you're right. Back to the other thing with the with what's amazing, which Prime has said this several times. I love Prime, good guy, but he has said this several times, and I about snapped. Like they're entitled to a certain standard of living. And they're like, I think we're arguing about like steak and lobster and welfare. There's no reason you should be able to go with food stamps, go buy steak and lobster. Like, well, it helps beef sales. It helps lobster. No, fuck that. You should be getting rice and beans and maybe some bread and a multivitamin. And maybe we'll give them hamburger meat. I don't know. We can pick something. And that's what you can buy on there. That's it. I'm tired of paying for these fuckers. And then they go sell them. You know what the going rate for food stamps is? Don't ask me how I know this. But you know what the going rate for food stamps is right now?
No idea.
$2 gets you $16 of food stamps. So like I can go and buy a sheet of food stamps from somebody over here and get it, give me, or they'll go on their card and swipe it, and I'll get they can give it to me and I'll give them like $2 per 16 for the thing. It's crazy. So I guess it's 1 for 8. Like that's outrageous. Like because they're just giving the shit away to them. Like and somebody
did you see that? Hold on. Did you see this lady? I think my son showed it to me, so I can't remember if it was on TikToks or YouTube Shorts or whatever. So this lady is apparently a famous short film creator. I think it's TikTok, but it was on YouTube or something. So someone turned her in for doing all of the TikTok stuff. And they said that if she had to sell her 2024 BMW.
Oh no!
Or they were, until they, and she, because she wasn't reporting all of her actual income, they were reducing the amount of food stamps that she had. Her Section 8 housing was covering 95% of the rent, and now it's only going to cover 15%. And it dropped her from $4,000 a month assistance down to like $250 or $300 a month because they found all of the stuff. Now, I mean, what?
Well, this is what Prime says.
You're out on food stamps and you're getting 95% of your fucking housing covered on my tax dollars, and you're rolling a brand new, and I believe this was videos.
Well, and you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, this is what Prime told me. This was a straight face. And there was other people on several panels since then. But Prime they are happiness is a standard that they should be entitled to a certain level of happiness. And I'm like, fuck their happiness. I nobody cares if I'm happy. Oh, I'm fucking working to pay for their happiness. That's bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. I don't. Happiness in society is not a metric.
Dude,
the government should be providing. Fuck that.
I'm worth a few bucks. Right? I can literally go out, pay cash right now today for basically whatever car I want. I drive my truck, the truck that I drive every day that I love, and it's just I'm actually going to get the front end repainted because I love it so much and it's chipped and I don't like that. I pay cash. I pay cash for it. I bought it when it was 4 years old in 2020. It's a 24 or 5 years old. It's a 2014 Chevy Silverado. My Mercedes is a 2014. My Jaguar is a 2018. I have a 5-year rule. I don't buy anything brand new ever. I don't do it. I mentally, it would break my fucking brain.
I don't do that. I mean, I've had 4 vehicles my entire life, right? Like, and each one of them I had it for over 10 years. I know that some people are not going to like this. This is not. I'm not at financial advice I'm about to give, because some people are going to be like, "There's better ways to do this." My uncle and I like argue about this all the time, because he like buys a new vehicle every year, leases it, and then he writes it off with his business. I'm sure there's a better way to do it financially than what I do, but the way I do it is the least headache. I drive my car for about 10 years. And then I buy the newest model. So last year I bought the newest model. I think my truck was like 9 years old at the time. I buy the newest model and I pay cash up front, and it's paid off. And I have no payments except for like insurance, right?
Sure.
And then guess what? There's this cool thing that this is the benefit of working hard and having money to do it, because you know what I paid for? Peace of mind. I don't have to worry about a payment coming up. I don't have to worry about these fuckers calling me. It's mine. Anything that has to do it, it's my responsibility, right? Except for whatever they're guaranteed in the warranties, like peace of mind. And that's something that I think the rich have, that like people that work a little like that don't have as much money, is they're willing to pay for convenience and peace of mind, and it helps. And like I said, my uncle probably thinks there's a better way to do this with their business, and I'm sure there is. But like, you can't put a price on like peace of mind. Like, and now I never have to pay for this bitch again. Like, I can have this for another 10 years, long enough to go wrong, 15, 20 years if I really want to take care of it. I run my vehicles to shit, so they're not gonna last 20 years. But I keep it good, you keep it decent, and hey, it'll last a while. And if I did know that, suddenly I'm hitting financial times, suddenly I'd take care of that bad boy like there's no tomorrow, and we'd keep that bad boy 20 years, put it 300K miles on it.
No, that's a solid outlook. I don't buy I just don't buy new cars because I want to take the depreciation but
I don't care about it.
I have a 5-year rule. I buy them, I keep them for fucking ever. I haven't sold a vehicle in a while, really. I keep them forever, and they just, but I can't even imagine if I were on fucking food stamps, dude, and 95% housing assistance and all of that. Dude, there's no fucking way that I could, my brain would break to own a $60,000 or $80,000 car. It would break my brain. So,
well, but the argument that the left makes a lot of times is they keep saying that like happiness should be a metric, and then anytime you look at any polling, which I hate to be the guy look at polling, they're always the most unhappy group of people. So clearly, if that's the goal, y'all aren't even providing the thing y'all are saying y'all are trying to provide as a metric. Like, it's crazy that this is something they come back to. They're like, I don't expect them, they should be able to have some level of enjoyment. No, bitch, if you're living on food stamps, that means you aren't accomplishing your goals. You should not be having some level of enjoyment at the expense of my tax dollars. That is ridiculous. Like, I didn't realize how much I guess the welfare state actually made up of the U.S. And I guess I was also another thing I figured out was China doesn't really control as much of our U.S. economy as I thought they did. And before that Tim Pool thing, so I did a deep dive. Trillions, the biggest expense, more than the military welfare programs. Then I was like, okay, well, China owns all our bail bonds, or not bail bonds, treasury bonds. I'm just the Latinos. I'm how to bail them out of jail. No, I'm just kidding. But the treasury bonds, they only owned 8%. I was like, wait a minute, and only 13% total is owned by foreign countries. I'm like, now 13% ain't no death blow. I was under the impression everybody goes, if they pull the treasury bonds, it's gonna kill us. We're gonna never eat. No, it's gonna hurt real bad. But we could survive all of them being pulled tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It would hurt real bad. Now I'm not advocating for that, but they've been making it sound like it's.
Yeah, I guess that we went down the car thing, but it's the mindset that I'm really talking about. The mindset that I see the same thing. I'm in fucking what store was it? Some high end person shoe store. I want to say it was probably Hermes, but it could have been Burberry or somewhere like that. It wasn't Hermes for sure. Probably Burberry or Louis Vuitton or something like that. And these women who, they're all they got decent stuff on. I can hear them literally talking about their food stamp a lot, right? Or their EBT. They don't call it food stamp.
Their EBT.
Yeah, they talk about their EBT a lot. How much they're getting every month. And they're in a store where a belt costs $300 fucking dollars.
It's wild.
That's crazy, man.
What?
Why? And every time, I really want Prime to someday tell me that people are entitled to their happiness, because there are two things. First of all, no, you're not. We're definitely not. The liberals always say, when I say, "Hey, I just want to be happy. I'm a conservative. It makes me happy to have this," and they say, "Well, but can't always get what you want." And then, so obviously, if it's good for me, it's good for thee. Second, happiness comes in small doses, folks. I'm going to paraphrase Dennis Leary here. It's a cookie. It's a cigarette. It's a 20-second orgasm. Well, actually, I guess in reverse, that's you come, you smoke the butt, you eat the cookie, you go to bed. Do it again tomorrow.
Well, now it's you come, you eat the butt.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But anyway, but Dennis, look, Dennis Leary's right about that. Happiness comes in small doses because life is hard, man. Life is hard. It's not meant. Life is war. I use this all the time. I legitimately tell people all the time. Ask people, "Hey, how?" Instead of "How's it going?" I say, "How's the war? How goes the war?" Because life is war.
So I'm doing. So I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually in law school. I'm doing the part-time program because I work a lot still way to do it. And but before I went the first day, they had these pre before you take your first class books that they read. You had to do a whatever. And the school I go to is left. Let's just throw it. And they gave us the name of the book. If y'all anyone want to check it out, it's called Evicted. And it's an anthology. It's a collection of basically short stories about different individual tenants and their lives and these different complexes, and then a couple of different landlords. And the moral of the story is basically, the landlords, even the good ones, are bad because these tenants, just their lives are too hard. Now, by the time I got written there, they're going around and they're calling on the room and they're asking these people each time. So they get to me and I was like, I'm sorry. I know that most of y'all it seems support this idea, and it seems like that's the theme of the book. But can I give y'all my assessment of the book and tell y'all that it's the opposite? And they're like, yeah, please. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because at least in law school, they'll let you say the opposite, right? And I'm like, well, every single one of these tenants, look at the old lady person. She chose to spend her money on drugs instead of spending on rent. And then, I didn't have money come the time, and she had to sell her stuff. And poo-poo, we should feel bad for her because she's been addicted for 20 years. And, that's a disease. Okay, maybe she's got a disease. Maybe she should have some government help. I don't know. That's just one. But, okay, that's one example. Seems like it's kind of her fault. But let's move to the second example. Second example, this guy chose instead of paying rent to buy the new PS5 and didn't have rent for that month because it was like a $600 thing, but it just dropped. Okay. What's his? Well, it helps him de-stress, and he needs this, and like he's already working so many hours, and the cost of living is so high that he should have an outlet. Oh, okay, all right, cool. That's number two. Got it. All right, that is full. The third one, they have 3 kids, and he's got an elderly woman living with him and his wife. And this guy, instead of paying the rent, decided that he had to put all of his kids in the most expensive private school in the city of New York. Like it was paying like 20 grand or 40 grand a month, some outrageous amount. And then he couldn't pay his rent controlled apartment, which I assume is low.
Rent controlled apartment.
Yeah, couldn't pay the price on that one, even though he was paying like between 20 and 40 grand a month in private school fees. Hey, that what? That's not his fault either. Let's go on, and it just goes on, and I go, I'm sorry, but the theme of the story seems to be no matter what decision we make, it's not our fault because life is hard, and the government should just step in and pay for these people against the evil landlords who bought these properties, fix them up, keep them living, and then give them a home to live at a fair price. And then y'all are going whatever. And they're like, well, what about the one bad landlord? Well, the one bad landlord is slumlord piece of shit, and he also has problems. And he needs to be convicted of crimes as well. But you can't convict every landlord or every business that runs landlord because these people decide, oh, I want to fucking buy a PS5 instead of paying my rent. And then me go, oh, well, my tax dollars should pay for his PS5. Like, no.
It does seem insane.
You know what I did when I was bored? My dad would say, take your hand like this, take your other hand like this, take your thumb, go this way, and the other thumb go that way. And when you get bored, switch the order.
It is really interesting how much or how little, I guess, realistically what we're talking about is accountability there is for individuals. And honestly, we play into this. I mean, and by we, I mean the citizenry, because we absolutely hear every single day about how you, Admiral Gibbs, because you have money. You shouldn't make all that money. Somebody else is money. Wealth is zero. I love it when I hear this. Wealth is a zero sum game. If you're making money, somebody else is losing money. I love that argument. That one just really gets me going. I don't believe that at all. I think that's one of the most insane things I've ever read in my life, or heard in my life. I heard people say it, and yet there are people that firmly believe that and will argue that they're right about that all the time.
Well, I've always wondered this, right? So, like, NoCal just said wealth isn't zero sum, but wealth over a certain amount absolutely is. Is that really true? Like, are you saying there's no good billionaires in the world? Like, say right? I'm not anywhere close to being a billionaire, but say like if I keep going in my land, like I have a lot of land right in like places, and it's always changing because of zoning. And say one of them strikes it rich on oil.
You can't own the land. The land is free for everyone.
Right, yeah, and so like we have helped. I'll give you an example. In Fort Worth area, there's oil, right? However, they had zoning laws. You can't put oil in certain areas because guess what? City. So we had to help zoning laws change where basically you can put an oil derrick there and then build a house around it. And now people can make more money on land they own in the area, whatever. So now you have new people making money. That's more stimulation for the economy. So say I like hit big and I became oil baron Gibbs and I became a billionaire. And I'm over here helping more people make money. I'm helping giving people jobs, whatever. And I don't ever mistreat my employees. Now, you're telling me I somehow would be, I'm not saying altruistic. Let's just say I never give any money away either. Like, I just keep all my money, but I pay everybody fairly or better than fairly. Let's just say better than fairly. And I help out people through, like, by my indirect actions, other people get money. And there's, exactly. Am I somehow evil? Because I have a wealth over a certain amount. Like, oh, now it's a zero-sum game. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can't convince me that's the case. Like,
So
no.
let me put this out there. If iCow is, I'm sure he's watching on your stream. So
He's probably
let me,
working. He'll watch it later, I'm sure.
So let me put this out there to those people, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. My goal is to buy at least one business a year from now until the day I die, right? So
Okay.
if I buy a business every year that makes, I don't know, let's say that like one business I'm looking at right now makes about 1.3, and we want to see we want to pump those numbers up to about 4.5 million a year. If I have another business that I'm going to buy right now that's making 8 million a year, we want to pump that up to 10 or 12 million. We just looked at a business that we and these are all different kinds of business. I mean, one is in manufacturing, another's in construction.
Diversified interest. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at pest control now, which I have no interest in, but I mean, it looks like a pretty good business.
I mean,
Let's say I add a business a year to my portfolio, and I make my SDE at the end of the year for each business is like one company's $1 million, another company's $2 million, or a million and a half or whatever. Let's say that I get 10 or 15 of those, and I'm making I make 20 million, 30 million a year. SDE, which is seller's discretionary and seller's discretionary, whatever. I can't remember what the last part is. It's not income. It's not expenses either. It doesn't matter. But just say I make 20 million a year, but I'm providing jobs for like 150, 200 people, and I'm paying taxes at each company. Like how is that not preferable to me sitting on my ass as a retired person, which I've been doing for the last 10 years, and paying, you know, a small bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how like this argument that they make that it's all inherently. They're just like after a certain point, it's just nefarious. Like, they have too much. I don't buy it. I think it's like faulty logic. Like, billionaires are just the same as any other person. Like, there's good ones, there's bad ones. Like what is a nefarious move? Oh, like someone just in my chat just mentioned, oh well, billionaires, use resource acquisition. Okay, and why are they doing that? Like, why is that bad? Well, they shouldn't own the resources. Well, okay, who should own nobody should own the resources. What is this? We're not in a post-scarcity society. Someone's going to own the resources. Why is it any different to me? Okay. If I became $1 billion cattle baron, well, okay, what am I doing? I'm going to keep buying more cattle. Like right now, I'm buying more herds from
But
people.
it's not just about what you have; it's what you're doing, right? If you're a $1 billion cattle rancher, you're providing meat to hundreds of thousands of people.
Right?
Not your neighborhood. Hundreds of thousands of people are
but
eating
they would
your
argue,
beef.
oh, well, Gibbs is taking up too big of the market because he's over here buying all these herds of cattle, these other businesses. It's nefarious, and it's like, why is that though? Why is being successful inherently nefarious? No, that doesn't make sense.
Like, so SD, by the way, is seller's discretionary earnings. I don't know why I couldn't think of that a second ago, but if I own a multitude of companies and they all provide services at a reasonable cost, why does it matter how big I get? Why does that hurt you, Gibbs? And I'm creating income. I'm creating jobs. I create wealth. I pay taxes. All of those things.
All the things they want. Like it's just I don't get like people are like, what's reasonable? Like, okay, sure. Well, what is reasonable? I mean, listen, I'm not going to be. I'll be a Connor for a second. Listen, I'll define reasonable is whatever the current market value is putting it at. You're not gouging the price at any time. You're just keeping it whatever that is. That's what reasonable is. If someone's getting a reasonable salary, they're meeting market value. They're paid across the board or a little better. That's what we're talking about. Like, we're not over here fucking people. We're making enough money, and they're getting paid rightly, and the consumers are able to buy it at a price that's whatever. We're not over here. Oh, they just got hit by a natural disaster. We're gonna go sell water for $20. I'm not pulling a Fabian Liberty to just say price gouging is good, but I am gonna say, like, if we're over here providing resources, it's a reasonable price. Like, I don't think bad business is necessarily whatever. I don't think me buying all the beef is going to be it's resource acquisition. Like,
well, I think that they really, and generically, when people want to say things like that, what they're really doing is they're really focusing on one very small aspect of a very large game, right? And again, if you are, and I don't, if you diversified and you own cattle and you own a trucking company because it's cheaper to take your own cattle to market when you own the trucks, and you basically become your own ecosystem, right? That's it. I mean, that's everybody's goal, right? Is you want to become your own ecosystem. It's really you want to become your own ecosystem. Does it really matter if you, as the new billionaire Gibbs, does it matter if you give a fuck about the little guy?
I don't think it does. It's just crazy that they're like, they should.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Because if you're making so you become a billionaire, you become and trust me, you don't have to have a billion in cash to be have a valuation of $1 billion. Like, that's not how that.
Sure, yeah, you have assets, obviously. Yeah, no, there's a lot of ways.
So it would be easier than it sounds for someone like Gibbs to become a billionaire because he's got lots of accesses of revenue. So if billionaire Gibbs,
land would be the one that would get me. It's like if I got some land that suddenly went up way up in value, I could be a billionaire overnight if you have the right piece of land. Like, that's it. That's what I
dude. So I have a friend of mine, and he ran a mental hospital or a drug rehabilitation hospital or whatever in California, and it was publicly traded, but he owned like 30% of the stock. Overnight, he was worth $500 million. He just woke up one day.
That's crazy.
And he was worth $500 million. So it could happen to any idiot.
But hey, he's unethical because he suddenly overnight woke up 500 million richer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, right. And so one of the interesting things is that does it matter if billionaire Gibbs, who is supplying meat and leather products, and most importantly, massive number of jobs, doesn't give a fuck about a single employee, doesn't care, whatever. All he cares about is making the next $1 billion. How does that affect anyone?
Yeah,
except Gibbs, because his employees are still going to get paid. He doesn't make $1 billion without paying his employees. The meat's just still going to make them go to market.
Yeah, they choose to work. They choose to work there.
Right.
It's
voluntary.
I'm hiring legal workers. It's not illegal workers. The legal workers are probably suffering because y'all's illegal ones are getting lower wages. I'd probably have to pay these more if y'all didn't have these guys. But hey, but I'm the bad guy here. Bad guy.
Yeah. As long as you're, and obviously, if you're selling to supermarket chains and things like that, I mean, market price is market price. It's not like you personally can gouge. So why is it that you're bad at that point? Why are you the evil guy? You know who's the evil guy? You know who the evil guy really is? It's the consumer that doesn't want to pay steak prices. They want to pay ground beef prices for prime rib. That's the guy that's wrong.
Crazy.
That's the guy that's wrong. That's mentally fucked up.
Well,
right? It's the same thing that I run into when I had the mechanic shop, right? And I did race cars and all that. I would have guys all the time come in that could literally not afford a fucking Honda Civic, and they would come in and they're like, "Hey, I want to do this, 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 this." I'm like, "Oh, you can't do that. It's not gonna. You can't do it." Well, my budget's this much. I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. Your budget's this much. Your budget is not enough. You want a Ferrari, but all you can afford is a Ford Pinto, a used one. and not a collector item because that's all you got, man. You can't even afford a Honda Civic. Honda Civic looks at you and laughs because you don't have enough money. And people hate that. People hate to hear that they just can't afford it. So what they do is they bitch about Admiral Gibbs putting the cost of beef at such a high level because they can't afford ribeyes, can't afford prime rib.
Well, I mean, and then here's the thing you mentioned, and then like sometimes okay, things are only worth the value you assign to them too, right? Like,
Sure.
so I'll give you an example, right? In America, white meat chicken breast has been the top selling, like item for chicken for I don't know ever, like as far as I can remember, white meat chicken breast, right? Okay, okay, it's been selling everywhere. High this year, thigh prices have now passed, are higher now than white meat chicken breast. Not because of any the like white meat chicken breast has gotten higher price to produce. Because guess what? Same chicken. Uh, it's gotten higher because people figured out that shit, dark meat's got a lot of flavor, and it's got a resurgence culturally. People are using a lot more like Wingstop's now selling thighs. Other places are doing this. All these other factors. Oh, so now people have assigned a part of the chicken from the same chicken more value than the previous more valuable part. Just like lobster. Lobster used to be like a food for the prisoners. Now, it's like all these prices can change, but because someone benefits from that, it
Yeah.
makes them evil. Like I'm sure it's just crazy to me. Like it doesn't make any sense. And then they're like, well, it doesn't matter. And that's not what it is. It's what you do with your wealth. Why does it matter what I do with my wealth? Anything I do with my wealth is good for the economy. If I buy a Ferrari, that's good for all the luxury people. And then, they got to buy from the like producers,
Yeah.
and then further down the line, it just increases the economy overall. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm gonna address Kissy Cat. Welcome back to the chat, Lindsay Smith. I see you out there. Did I see that, Lindsay, that you are banned on Flow State or kicked out or something, and he has a bounty to let you back in? Did I see that? Or is that a different Lindsay? I'm very curious. I was
and no count. Nobody's arguing for Monopoly, by the way.
Yeah, nobody's arguing for Monopoly. But I don't actually understand why Monopoly is necessarily in and of itself evil.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah. Kissy Cat says Maseratis don't hold value. That's because people don't realize they have Ferrari engines in them. And the new Maseratis are actually really nice. I really enjoyed the Maserati V8. It's a great vehicle. If you can get one, I suggest. If you have the means, I suggest you pick one up. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what we got going on. I missed a lot of the chats. I'm trying to catch up.
Oh, you're good.
Flow State banned people for talking. Yeah, talking crazy to Lindsay, and then he banned Lindsay. That's funny. And now there's a bounty for her to come back on. It's only like $11 or something. I don't know. Hey Gibbs, I got something. So I do this panel. It's a debate panel on Saturday nights. It's a game show, right? It's a good format. You like it. So what happens is that so this past weekend, what I did is I instituted a buy-in. You had to pay $10 to get your seat at the table. Now Anson paid for everybody for the first for 10 people. He paid for 10 people to come up and or 13 people or whatever it was to come up, and that was awesome. So Anson did that. And so you buy your seat at the table, and then the debate format is the chat can buy a 1v1 debate. Say you versus Prime Kai's would be, if he was down there, it'd be,
Right.
And we'd pick a subject and you go at it. The format is you each get 1 minute to make an opening statement. And then once both have had your opening statement, you get 5 minutes to debate and go back and forth. And then you're judged by 3 judges. Tyler, actually, average debate enjoyer, was was the judge the other night, and it's actually a lot of fun and it's really cool. And one of the things that's kind of organically happened is that the um, the other contestants and the judges will critique the losers and winners arguments or technique, not the argument itself, but the techniques, so that they can refine the technique. And they'll tell you why you lost. It's not just, hey, we just don't like you, because
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to
That's
avoid
how
the
I do my debate
popularity
shows.
contest.
I have the judges be like, why did they, why'd you vote
Yeah.
this way?
Yeah, but this is organically kind of happening, and Saturday night show was fabulous. It was great. So the and it's we're gonna do another. I think we're gonna switch it to Friday nights because Saturday's really tough for me when I'm shooting to go to bed at 2 in the morning and get back up at 4 or 5.
Right.
So that's tough. But I think we're gonna be doing Friday nights starting maybe in a week or so.
Yeah, I'm down to do some of them. I like for sure. I'd be
Yeah,
interested in being either a judge or a contestant. It just depends on scheduling,
yeah,
kind of thing.
absolutely. So
Like,
it's great. It's a great time. It's a great time because you can have the chat can extend the time. So if they're into it and you're going back and forth and it's a great debate, they pay $5 a minute to extend it.
yeah, I think that also is really good for format for that kind of thing. I've done so that sounds very similar to, like, I don't know if you know who CuteBot is, but she's like an e-girl streamer. But
Mm-mm.
she runs like what they call like the chat royale, and it's a blood sport, so it's not debate. They just like talk shit to each other. And one
Okay.
of the things that, and they also have like the dating royales, and it's a very similar format where they'll come
Mhm.
in for like 5 minutes and they'll like date the contestant, or they'll like argue with the other person, and then chat can vote, or there can be three people and they'll vote them out. And then
Mm.
I like, and she has like little HP bars, so they'll have like
Yeah.
$20 worth of HP, and every like five
Uh-huh.
bucks you'll see the HP bar move. It's kind of similar to that. I have done a more like formal style debate because I wanted
I
like
remember
rank
your Grand
debating.
Prix. I
Yeah, and
like the Grand Prix.
yeah, we're bringing it. We're still doing it. We're doing like, I'm trying to get it to a seasonal format. I need like two people to get like one more win, and I'll be able to move to the seasonal format thing, right? And
Yeah.
but I want the rankings for like formal things, and that's why I didn't do the paid one. But I think that you're onto something with you like y'all doing the YouTube stuff. Have figured out how to monetize the debate space a little bit better. So guys, follow me on YouTube so I can start monetizing this shit better. But
Yeah. Well, you're
yeah,
welcome to come on anytime. But the only time that the only and I also changed the format from some of the other types of this type of debate realm. Basically, everybody at the table spent most of their time in the back because I would bring somebody up and I'd be like, okay, we got 5 minutes for the chat to either pay for a 1v1, or I would just pick the 1v1 and you guys are going to debate. like I got to keep this rolling, and so there wasn't a lot of like back and forth and all of that. So yeah, it could have been cool.
they
Um,
also have a format you kind of like, maybe you could also maybe do on a special occasion that's similar to this, that because you're basically doing the cute bot style but for like politics, right? And they have another format
well,
that's
there's
just as
another
good.
debate format like this. There's another debate show called Verbal Combat, and it's
I've
put
never
on by
seen
a
that.
fellow named Speakeasy, and it's more of a circus show. It's got a lot of like visual effects, and whoever loses the debate, they get fatalitied, and he has like a Mortal Kombat vibe to it. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I like it, but it just takes so long.
Oh yeah, they're very long. Well, I was gonna say there's another format that they do is called like the gauntlet, right? And so they have a set timer and they'll put a countdown on there. And so it's all like, a lot of times it's about positioning. You want to be a later position. So like
Hmm.
people can pay to like, hey, I want to be the person at the end, right?
Hmm.
Because whoever is the last person at the end of the gauntlet gets all the money. So if you come in like number 30 and there's 30 people and you win, then you get all the money. But if you're number one, you got to go through 29 other people in a
Right.
row, and like, and so like that's one, and then each
Oh, that'd
round they
be
like pay to kick it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I could see
yeah.
that.
I,
Yeah.
I bet you could probably do that format as well. They have like different ways to pay to monetize that
Yeah.
as well. But those seem similar to what you're talking about as well. Like, it just seems you're very much the same format as what they're doing with the
Yeah, yeah.
royales,
Well,
but
I
for
didn't
debate,
want the chat judging. The things that I wanted, I didn't want chat to judge because it becomes a popularity
right?
contest. You bring all your boys with you. And I also I don't want the visual effects. I don't want to spend 30 minutes, with the whole panel up just bullshitting before we get to a debate. That's kind of, I'm a hey, let's keep moving.
I don't think people understand how much like styles make debates, like especially in Twitch poll. Like some people just don't match, like at all. Like you mentioned Connor, you put me and Connor in the same room, like he's not gonna clown me. I come from roast shows, like I like one-liners, and so like he's not gonna be bad against like Fabian because Fabian's gonna sit here and like go calm mode and like oh, let me teach you, professor. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll like spaz out because of that. But then like he'll go against somebody that's a little more soy and he'll like beat the shit out of them, right? Because they like bully them, right? And so it's styles all make matchups, I think, quite a bit. And like sometimes people's personalities when there's like really going is pretty exciting. Like I think, and then when you do these shows where they have like multiple people come on, you can get like different styles, like somebody you weren't expecting.
Oxcaxo donated $10.
This is a TTS.
Super chat.
You
the
can't
show
hear it.
will be perfect once we iron out the topic choosing. The debaters take too long to agree on a disagreement. May have to start forcing a topic.
Yeah, so Kissy Cat says that the show will be perfect once we iron out the topic choosing. The debaters take too long to agree on a disagreement. May have to start forcing a topic. Yeah, that seems but that only seemed to be a problem at the end, towards the end, after we've kind of winnowed out some of the people. So, but we're going to talk about that.
Wouldn't you just do? Hold on. Wouldn't the simple solution just be if you're paying to come on to debate somebody, that you either do the topic that you're doing for the day, or you bring a topic?
Well,
if I'm paid, I'm coming with you.
Go watch Saturday Night Show, man.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
You'll understand it because it is just it's brutal in the middle. Like it's going so well, and then we get to like the last 5 people or last 4 or 5 people, and it just like craters because of the topic choosing.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check it out and see. Maybe I'll give you some feedback on it. There's always, I can see how there's be some unforeseen things. That's kind of like what with any new thing, I feel like that's the thing that always gets you is like you'll have an idea and you'll plan for stuff, and then it's something totally unexpected. And you're like, what is this? For everything, really. That's like kind of life in my experience. Murphy's Law,
Yeah, so I really, because I'm going to have to wrap up here in a few minutes.
Sure.
I got a couple more things that kind of want to hit you with. First, 2 things. First, I want to talk about Tim Pool just very briefly. I know you were on there. I was supposed to Prime hit me to go on there to defend the Carmelo Anthony thing from a Second Amendment point of view as a self-defense, which I can't do because I don't believe it was self-defense.
Right.
And the second thing I want is I wanted to kind of hit you on is where are you going with because I know you've been doing these like Friday afternoon debates, which I've participated in a couple of them, and
the Thursday ones, yeah.
I'm kind of curious what because you seem to be like throwing a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I'm interested to hear what your formats are and what you're thinking and all
that. So okay, I mean, you want my like overall strategy kind of thing? I can tell you that. I think so. I've noticed a couple things. Right, first, as a male streamer, you have advantage and disadvantage. Obviously, I can't just be hot chick bust out tits. Like I'm not bashing that. If you can do that, more power to you. I can't do that. So I've noticed that with men, especially in this world, you have to kind of be consistent is the one thing, right? So I think that people that are consistent eventually get discovered if they're putting on any kind of good product. So I've been kind of experimenting, and I think people like planned panels that are on specific days. Those numbers are always my biggest numbers, like bar none, right? That seems to be the best. Now, as far as the content that's got me the most views, though, it's been either like a really spicy panel, any 1v1 where I'm like like sitting there talking to another name and it's like a conversation. Those seem to be really the big ones. Like the Dylan Burns one I had for like 4 hours. That's done really well, like on everything I've had, right? Like just that was good. Or any one you're like, this one's doing pretty good, and this is like not my time period of being on the day at all, right? None of my people are on, right? And I think that when I is like really posted, I'll good on the other secondary. So one-on-one combos do well. The variety aspect is something I really think is working in a non-serious. So I'll give you an example. Modi is one of my good friends. He's that British kid. He does comedy and he does like long gaming streaming, but he's done the same thing for a while and he's gotten close to partner a few times and then fallen off. And what I think his problem is what I've told him is he does only comedy content. And I think a lot of politics people have the same problem is they only do politics content, and it depends if you have like the time to go 5 days a week. So like I do, so I go 5 days a week, and I think that's bad. If you only go 2 days a week, that's like different, right? Like you have to like maximize your time, and so I have the ability to go a bunch of days. So I've been working on variety. I'll do like a comedy show on Fridays. I'll do like poker with Pentuple and them on Tuesdays. I'll do, my show on Primes, which does well, going on other people's shows, like somewhere consistent where they expect to see you, I think is a key thing. And then the other thing I think is good is like unique content. Like people want something that's definitely yours, right? Like nobody thinks that I moderate the same as like Wick and Prime. Now they might have their own problems with mine, but like they're like, if you go to Gibbs, it's going to be run differently than it's going to be, here. And you're going to go to Prime, it's going to be different than Gibbs. And I think people want that unique stuff. Like, so your debate show, right? I have a debate show where it's like we do the DCS, and we have the Grand Prix thing, right? You got this, like having different formats, that's good. You want your own like thing on it, and you want to be able to have. And I think this is the big one that I made the mistake when I almost got partnered the first time, and then I got my ban, and I came back. I was like doing Halo, and I realized it wasn't my community. It was Halo's community. So like a big thing I've been trying to work on is community integration. So like I Skyana, right? She's cool. She kind of leans left, but she's cool, and she brings a whole bunch of people. The Skyana, she's I don't know. She's not really a political streamer. She comes to some of the panels every once in a while. But long story short, she really
you should bring her on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure she would come talk about something. But anyway, long story short, like I'm using an example. Like, so you'll go and like she doesn't do very much politics content, but when she comes on mine, she'll bring her people, and then I do gaming or whatever, and like her people will stay in our chats, and like they're like, oh, Sky's doing this on Gibbs Day, yay, let's go. Or Sky's not on, I'm gonna go hang out with Gibbs. Or Gibbs not on, and my people will go over there. Or then I'll have other people like Modi, right? And it's kind of trying to build like almost like it's like a network TV. If you're not watching this person, you're on this person, and I'm trying to build that community where they stay within a certain group of people, like kind of thing.
Yeah, so I talked to Andrew about this because one of the things is that
he's a good one to ask for sure.
Yeah, verbal combat is in my sphere, right? Like I've been on there. Easy's been on my show like one time, like a long time ago. But we share, in theory, we share a lot of crossover viewers, right? I don't know how true that really is anymore because it's just not the same type of content. So I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't.
Right, sure.
And so I talked to Andrew a while back, just briefly. Well, I guess it was a longer talk. Doesn't matter. But the gist of it is that you just, because I was concerned about, hey, am I going to take audience away from Flow State or Easy or Sarah? Am I going to pull audience away from these other people? Should I care that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there are people, because I started out doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like people were changing from Tuesday, Thursdays to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Should I be concerned about that? And Andrew said basically this: the internet is a fucking big place.
Right.
Hundreds of millions of people on it at any given time. Why do I care? What I need to do is if I want to build an audience of 1,000 people, then I have to get in front. I'm not going to do it with the 200 people in this sphere. If I want if I want to get in front of if I want an audience of 1,000 people per show, I have to get in front of somebody that has 100,000 or 200,000 people, and I have to do it reliably. Which is why I'm more than willing to go on Tim Pool at this point. At one point in time, I really wasn't, but now I am.
I think that's a big
I
thing.
do shows. I have big names on. I've had Pearl on. I've had Andrew on multiple times. Now I haven't done shows around those people. They just drop in, right? Like Andrew used to just drop in randomly on my stream and just chat.
I agree with all of that. I think, but it's also the twofold thing. I think it's like because the first time I did this, like I was a Halo announcer when like Halo was big, right? Like I'm like, oh my god, what a play! That's a double, triple, oh, snipe! Like we doing all that bullshit, like going into it, and like, and then I realized when I got a ban, I lost my contract, come back. I didn't have a community, right? Like just because you can go on all these things and get them, that's like if you don't have the basis. But you also you have to have the supporting structure. Like I'm going to use CuteBot for example. CuteBot can't be CuteBot if she doesn't have 1,000 modis, right? Who are like smaller content creators that'll come on her show and give you consistent content over and over. And she's really good about finding these people and bringing them in. And then you have like, and I think it's the same thing. Like I agree, get in front of the millions of people, like Andrew Wilson say, but like, how much better is it? Whenever like we have Enemy Charlie, she's not never been a debate person before, but she's active and like okay,
dude, that clip of her that I have is flawless.
Yeah,
have you seen it?
Send it to me. But
I'll roll it right now. I got it right here.
Yeah,
stand by.
Yeah, so. Well, let me just finish this real quick before I lose it. But like with her, like, okay, she's got like a 600 viewer account, but like in that 600 viewers, she's got like maybe 90% lefties, but you have 10% of these guys that want to be still in her community, but they don't want to talk about their politics. So guess what? They're going to come to you, and then they're going to still be a part of this community. And I think it's part of getting them to stay within your circle while reaching out to more and more. I think it's the key.
The way I look at it is I don't have a circle. I will have anybody on that interests me. I'm trying to get Bonsai or Buckaroo Banshee on. I would love to have her on. I will have anybody on just to chat, talk. And a lot of people think it's going to be a debate, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like, first of all, I've always looked at this as the Continental, right? Like, no business gets done here. I go to your channel, I go to Prime's, I go do blood work there, right? Now, I do have the debate show now, but literally we have a disclaimer that says, for this period of time, business can be conducted on the Continental ground.
Right, yeah.
And here's that clip of Charlie. You're going to remember this because you feature prominently in it.
Would be the one let go because we did not have the resources necessary to hire more medical professionals.
Just to ask, like, because now I'm curious. Like, are you saying this is like actually like a predominant like culture issue, like or is it because of like resources?
Well, what I'm saying is that when something like the VA is extremely underfunded and you need to keep your claws in specific people so that veterans can get the care that they need, like I left because I knew that person that they could not fucking replace him, but they could replace me. So I think you're going to get weird sex crazy things happening because you're putting people in positions of power that they could abuse. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely absurd. What?
Oh, yeah, Admiral, please explain that to the rest of us. Translate.
Yeah, how did that?
I did translate. I understood what she was saying. I translated well for the record after that.
That was great. It was like, it was still absurd even after you translated it, but it was.
I mean, listen. I mean, the orgy.
you don't sign off on her viewpoints.
Listen. I didn't claim the viewpoint. All right, but I speak lefty. All right, I can speak it. We can turn it into us Republicans speak. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. It was, and it got better. I haven't uploaded that clip yet, but there was another clip that was just as good. It was awesome.
Yeah, she's a good one. She's fun, but like that's what I'm saying is like I've been trying to bring.
I would have her on. I sent her a message, and then she haven't followed up on it.
It's gonna be a while. She takes like forever to get to read the message because she's an e-girl. She gets hundreds of them a day. But like she this is what I'm saying is get them in, and then like they're in your network, right? And then like it's just one more to go to all the time. And like I think it's also like keeps things fresh. You have somebody like her who's not like she is smart, right? If you ask her about Tolkien, she's gonna teach you about shit that you didn't even know that. She can probably tell you how many nut hairs this guy had, right? Like she knows all the theory. You go in, and like it's like someone fresh, and they're like can bring it in. I'm always trying to bring in non-political people into like Twitch poll because I'm tired of debating the same 5 people all the time. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I'm always looking to bring in people here, and I'm always looking to bring in various all the different stuff, man. So that is absolutely the thing that I do. So Mullet Baby 01 says she is the e-girl orbit of Kai Boots. I don't know who Kai Boots
Cute bot, yeah, cute bot. That was the one I was talking about with the Royales earlier.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like okay, and you can bash Cutebot, right? Like she's an e-girl, but I've talked to Cutebot outside of the stream like several times, and the girl, like, okay, would you say ranked choice voting is like something common, like would come up in a common discussion? Probably not. Like the average normie is not going to be like, yeah, ranked choice voting. Somebody asked a question about that on her like Politics Royale, and she like gave a brief explanation. Was like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about this topic because that one's boring. And I'm like, wait, how did she even know that? And it's like you'll see like hints where the mask like slips, and then like where the real person's behind it, and like then you'll talk to her. You're like, oh, this girl's like a shark. Like she's real smart. It's like it's surprising how many of these like e-girls behind the scenes are like persona off. All right, here's to make some money, bitches. Like a lot of them. Like it's very surprising, like kind of thing. But yeah, cute like Kiana, very intelligent woman. Like, what's her name? Is it Orbiter? They live in the same house, the cute house. They're all like part of the same team.
Okay. What? So I'm I know that I don't. I just do this for the fun of it. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing it because I was fucking mad about like my fucking cattle and my ranch getting fucking damaged, and they kept telling me to go fuck myself on these panels, and now they expect me to care about this human trafficker that got deported. Like, no, sorry, I don't.
I need to ban Lindsay Smith. She implied that folks mistaken my tiny wallet for my peen. It hurt my fifis. Okay. All right.
That's rough.
Lindsay Smith hurts a lot of fifis for some reason. I don't know. Could be a second job for her. All right, Admiral Gibbs. I have one more thing, and now I've forgotten what it was. What was the last thing I wanted to ask? Probably doesn't really matter. We can always have you back on. Happy, glad to have you on.
Yeah, would love to. I definitely want to make more rounds at different times. Like, I don't ever do anything during the day. Apparently, I should.
I do. So the way my schedule works out is I do Monday afternoon generically, and I'll do Prime's panel tonight. Generically, I don't do anything on Tuesday at all. That's just kind of my work day, and then I just do a bunch of I take meetings and all that kind of stuff.
Tuesdays also like that for me. Usually, I usually don't have as much plan on Tuesdays.
Yeah, and then Wednesday, I do a Wednesday night show. Now that's usually an interview show, or I'll do a mini panel or something like that. Usually not a debate or anything like that.
I've been hosting a women's panel Wednesdays because I'm the biggest feminist on Twitch.
Oh, really? I should do a women's panel. It's interesting. So I started this channel, and I had. I had some female viewers, and then Glenn brought some more, and whatever. And I've actually had 2 female co-hosts. I had Josie, and then I had Kat as co-hosts, and they did well. But I had this moderator that absolutely just pissed off every woman in chat.
Yeah, can relate.
I was down to like 2. I was down to like 2 supporting females, and I got rid of him, and I made sure that all women are welcome here. You know, we may make fun of you a little bit. We're not going to hurt your feelings too bad, I don't think. Um, but you know, it's fun is
I had a guy, a moderator, that was trying to like hit him up and then like be their best friend through me, like on like and like even my IRL friends. Like I'd have like girls come on and I do interviews, and then like 2 weeks later they'd be like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, he's like a moderator for me." She's like, "Oh, he's just like trying to be like super friendly, like real fast, like trying to be like besties or like whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, we got to put the kibosh on this. You don't want to be the guy that you have girls on. They're like, oh yeah, Gibbs is cool, but his moderator is going to try to fuck you. Like, like that's not what you want." I was like, he had to go.
That specific moderator, I think he just hates women, and so he would just harass them all the time them out for no reason, all of the bullshit. So, so now I probably have enough women to do a ladies' night sort of thing.
Yeah, I've done mine pretty like laissez-faire. I've done like they bring the topics, and I'll give them time for each one, and like we'll just kind of talk about whatever's like topics like hot. If it's like going to like circles jam, like then who's got one? If not, then I'll have like some backup ones, ready. That's been way more successful, and it's been like the easiest one I've show that I thought it'd be. Like I literally put in no work almost, and I just like moderate who speaks, and people seem to like it.
So, yeah, we'll just DM back and forth on it because I'm interested in some of
the daytime thing is something I definitely think like I have an audience for it, and I'm sure that you would get some of my people because I won't be able to do the days as much. But like Chai is always like, I need more morning and daytime stuff. There's nobody on doing till like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, interesting, but like. I mean, you are exactly. So, like, I'm like, man, I guess I need to start doing more of this thing this time. Yeah. But, and this is where it's also the same thing. It's hard to get people on at this time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because people, I don't know, for whatever reason, I think you got a fucking golden opportunity here at that time slot. Honestly, in general.
Hey, look at that. Fuckface finally woke up. Look at that.
See?
Morning, Fuckface. Yeah, it's my buddy Wally. You gotta call Wally. Anybody that goes by Wally, you have to call him Fuckface at least once a day. I think it's a rule somewhere.
The only Wally I know, his name was really Guadalupe. So now we got Wally from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good stretch. I'm gonna give you that one.
We all thought, I was like, wait, how did we get the Wally? I was like, okay, whatever.
That's funny. Yeah, maybe I'll do a Wednesday. Maybe I'll turn Wednesday night into an alternating ladies' night. So one Wednesday we'll do an interview or something, and then the following one we'll do the ladies' night. And I'll just let them. I'll let the women take it. It'll be a women's circle takeover, and they can sit up here and jaw, and I'll just moderate. And there you go. That might be good. And then Thursday I do another day shift. I was doing day shifts like 4 days a week, but when I started doing business again, I retired for 10 years.
Nice.
And then this year I've decided, I need to get back into it.
I feel like I go crazy.
I can't sit still long enough. So now I'm like, well, I had to cut some of the daytime shows, but I do Monday and Thursday daytime shows. And generically, if I do anything on Thursday night, it's a debate or a debate panel or something like that. And then Friday night's going to become the debate show. And then Saturday nights will be probably a chill stream again or a trash talk or something like that.
I'll say something that's really, really been interesting to me is the types of people you get, right? So like I've noticed that like the minute I like people see a thumbnail and it's me and a person or me reacting to like content, people will come. Like and it's one group of people and they're like, oh, they'll show up and I'll get them. And then I have about like 30 to 25 people that will be there and they won't say anything for hours. And I'll see them in the thing and I'm like, they just left me lurked. And then all of a sudden I'll be doing something and they'll be talking about shit that I did earlier. And I'm like, have you been here the whole time? They're like, oh yeah, I just had you on in the background as background noise because we know you stream for a long period. Like, and I'm like, Okay, well, cool. I mean, I'm making ad revenue off them. I don't care. But it's just like you would, not everybody's a chatter. I didn't realize how many people are like actually just like lurkers, right?
Oh yeah,
And
I have a lot of lurkers.
And so it's interesting to me, like what kind of content gets what. Like anytime I do political content, like it can be almost any time. If people see me talking to somebody, it's whatever. Or if I do like slosh casting, whatever. But then it's like gaming or something. Like I get a very different group of my audience. And I find it, I don't know. I don't really know what to do with the information I've been gathering from this yet. But it's very interesting to see like which group and who's what. Like in what, like, you know, how they're interested in like what time. I don't know. I'm kind of like an analytics slave. I like love numbers, and so I like this. You show this. This is doing this. How do we change this? When is this doing this? At like what time? I find out all that like super interesting. So I'm always like kind of like diving into it. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed that, like what time, like, do you get certain people that are only on during certain times and like on certain shows, or is it usually everybody's everywhere?
Yeah, I have some. I mean, I guess I have noticed that some, but for the most part, I have a good core group of people, and they're really, they're always, if not always on. They'll say, "Hey, I got to work. I'm going to miss your show tomorrow, but I'll listen to it." Or I have a lot of truck drivers too that listen, um, and that's just a I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic, right? Because some of the guys that are driving across country, they'll call into the show. They can be on anytime.
I think also, like, I have my ads cranked way up, and I like advocated like, hey, if you just leave me lurked and you don't want to like sub, like, hell yeah, I'll take the ad revenue. And I think like some people like the idea that they don't have to like sub to be a part of the community and will be willing to sit there. And like, I know it sounds dumb, but like, I think like I'm very upfront about everything. Like, I'm just like in your face about shit, very mask off, right? And I think that, some people really like that, right? And then other people like Connor, for example, like don't like that, And I feel like there's all selling strategies. I don't know. I see the community aspect's really interesting. I felt like second high school.
Yeah. So Mullet Baby 01 says having Gibbs on disproves all the lies they say about him, all the Destiny ball hangers. It's ball washers. We're looking for ball washers. Hangers are okay, but washers are what they are. Progressive Victory Bunch call him such nasty slurs, attacking his wealth, businesses, and education. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that myself. And I mean, I got to be honest. I made fun of, I still make fun of Gibbs on Crimes panel quite a bit, and he takes it. He doesn't care, but I don't. I mean, I absolutely, when he says something good, I give him credit for. But I do that with anybody. Like,
yeah,
I give everybody all the same kind of respect, but I'm not going to cut slack if you say something stupid as fuck.
I mean, there's a line, right? Like, and even like, okay, I've called Tyler like the first time, one of the first panels we were on. He like gave a thing, and he was on my side. He said something. I'm like, well, and I was like not listening, and I didn't know. I was like, well, whoever just said that's a fucking idiot. And he was like on my side. And I went on my show, just like, Tyler, I'm on your side though. And I'm like, no, I mean, I'm sorry, you might be a smart guy, nice guy, but you're wrong on this, yada yada. There's one thing to be like have some fire and like yell at each other a little bit, and you're wrong. There's another thing to like maliciously like attack people, right? And then like you attack. Like bro, I'll cook you. Like I come. My background is like Halo announcing, which I don't know if you know about Halo, toxic, and then roast shows. Guess what? I've never seen a nice roast show. Those are my background before I came to Twitch Bowl. So like zingers, we're gonna get them, and it's fun to like go on here and because they do talk about me. I heard him name drop me the other night, and I'm like, we name dropped him a few times this time, but that's because he was just on the show, Fabian's show. We all like Fabian here last night, but I feel like I hear my name brought up on a lot of the shit, and I'm like, I'm in your head, yes, rent free, baby. Like, it's very satisfying. I gotta be honest. I don't know if it's working the way they have the slurs and stuff, but yeah, I feel like I am educated. They're like, he's a dumbass. I'm like, okay, well then why do I have a better degree than you?
You have a different way of putting things, for sure.
Yeah, because I speak like I don't need to speak uppity, bro. I can go over here and talk to old John Boy down the road. If I have to use only big words to describe a complex subject, then you're not very intelligent. You should be able to use the simplest of words to explain the most complex shit and be able to get the point across and be effective. Like that's the secret right there. But people are like, oh, he's a dumb Texan. Look at that guy talking with his country for colloquialisms. Fuck that idiot. Like I'm like, okay, cool. I guess keep underestimating me, and I'm gonna keep winning. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, the toxicity's out there, though. I mean, we can't avoid the fact that there's a lot of people who just they just argue to argue. Like
I
they,
feed
they
off
don't
it.
even have a point.
Like the more toxic people get towards me, the more I'm like, yes.
I think what's interesting to me, and you're probably going to have a different take on this, but I think the Twitch poll lefties are so sophomoric that it just drives me crazy. Like Doobie was supposed to be like this great debater, and I smoke him into the dirt all the time. And it's like, why are you even here? If I want to like have somebody, if I want a leftist to come at me, I've got like super good leftists, that'll come at me, bro. But like,
well, like I think part of it is like you get who's available at first, right? When you first start, kind of thing. But like then you kind of discover diamonds in the rough. Like when I first started, I wanted to run a consistent panel. I didn't have my cream of the crop pick of the lefties, right? But some of the people, like they were new, like Non-Fawn, like is a great example. The guy is new, he's young, he's really young, right? But when it comes to certain topics, he's very good at those topics.
Oh yeah, he stays in his lane for sure.
Yeah, but like he knows he's out of his lane on some stuff, but he'll still try just for the experience kind of stuff. And like he's never given like and I'm gonna give you an example, right? He went on Modi's, and I know Non-Fawn's very like kind of like dry as a person, right? Dry, right? And Modi's is a comedy show.
He got animated the other night. He actually clapped back at people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So he went on Modi's show, and Modi is a dating comedy show, and part of it they have like a roast section shit. And the first few times, like first time he did it, he was just like dry, and he talked about like politics on a comedy show, not good. And by his last time on there, he was like one of the top 4K people on like a 16-person show, and it was like hilarious. It was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off, and he's gotten way more animated. And I would say he's the one I've seen the most improvement on from like when he started to like over a couple of months. I think he's got a bright future. I think he's like Kimbo Slice. He's going to be a Democrat until he makes money, and then he's going to become a Republican.
Yeah, everybody says that.
You know what I'm saying? I can feel that about him. It's coming.
I think all the women in my chat look at him like a little brother and a nice kid, and they're just like, don't be mean to don't be mean to that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. I mean, and like what I'm saying is like people like, I don't want to bash anybody, but like Liberal Cluck, I had it on. The guy was like so partisan, he could never grant ground on any issue ever.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'll give you one that I don't like with Trump. Trump's talking about, and I'm sure you can relate, new gun restrictions talking about coming out. And I'm like, if he does that, I'm gonna be real fucking pissed. And they're like, I can't grant. They're like, some Gibbs like, oh wow, Gibbs is criticizing Trump. I'm like, I can definitely criticize Trump sometimes, right? That doesn't mean I'm not lockstep goose stepping with him, bro. Like, I mean, I voted for him because he was my best option. You know what I'm saying? And like, the other option was more madness. I don't want any of that,
Yeah.
So like, I'm sitting here going over to like this kind of thing, and I don't know. I feel like they can't give ground at all. Non-Fawn can at least give ground. I
like Non-Fawn a lot. Non-Fawn is, and I've said that since I've encountered it. He at least like 95% of the time he's going to be good faith with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you try, and like, I'm glad your chat or whoever that said that like recognizes that it's propaganda, because like on one hand I do like feed off the toxic. The more they're talking about me, the better I'm doing. Right, that's what I think, But on this other hand, it's always good to be reassured. Like, oh well, when we actually interact with you, you're not this dickhead that we've made you out to be. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, good. That means we're being effective.
Yeah, I gotta wrap the show up here in a second. I just keep forgetting what I was going to ask, and then we get on another topic, which is awesome. But at some point, I need to finish it up.
I'm here at your pleasure, so we're good.
Yeah, no, man, that's cool. I'll do I'm gonna continue doing the show myself. Of course, I got into this because I was heckled into starting the show, so that's why that happened. And so yeah.
I mean, like, what's crazy is that like how people get their starts, right? Like, I feel like some people come in like as like activists, right, or something. I wouldn't call myself an activist, but like I started doing the politics shit because I was sick of just seeing nobody talking about these issues that like I was dealing with, right? And I was like, if I could give the voice to 10 people, that's 10 people that didn't know before. Somebody got to talk about this shit. And just whenever people like hit you on the left specifically, hit you with this no empathy thing, and then now they expect you to care about. Why do you think they keep lifting up some of these people they do for their agenda? Like they just seem like clear people maybe you don't die on this hill for. They just keep choosing them over and over and over again. I don't understand it.
I mean, it's I think like like with just kind of pick on Prime for a minute. I pick on Prime a lot actually. It's like
he's a good one to pick on. He can take it.
He can take it. Yeah. I like being on the show because it does expose me to some different people and that's actually one of the things that came out of my conversation with Andrew was that hey, just go out, get on other panels, get outside this little ecosphere that you're in, and bring just bring them on your show or just talk go over and beat them in their own show. And I've been doing that, and I've just really been kind of what's the word I'm looking for here. I've really been so I grew pretty good. I'd have like 80 to 100 people during a show, and then YouTube has knocked me down for whatever reason. And there for a while, I would barely get 30 during the nighttime show. Like during the daytime show, I understand I'm only going to get 20 or 30 people at any given time. People have jobs and shit. But dude, I was like, I kid you not, man. Um, I took a severe like bump. I never could figure it out, and I think it was because I really think it was just because YouTube didn't like what I was saying, or somebody like dimed me out or something. I don't know.
The algorithm.
The algorithm, the magical algorithm, man.
I mean, the triggers just keep grinding, and then like I guess Andrew said, is like hitting more and more other shows.
Yeah, and I started going out, into different areas, and I'm trying to grow my show because I was having a conversation with one of my mods yesterday about how, that we don't, that I shouldn't go on Friday nights because the other debate shows on that night, and that creates more division between us and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't want his audience. Like if he's already got that audience and they're hit, fine. I don't. If they want to come here, great. If they don't, but it's fine. I'm not aiming to do that. What I'm aiming to do is to go to your audience, Gibbs. I want to bring some of your people that want to debate and some of the lefties that come to challenge you. I want to bring those people over on Friday night. I want to go to I want to bring in the lefties from Twitch, and I want to bring in some of the varieties from.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Is like really is to do the networking because like it's like okay, like two things. One, at some point, like you just have to stop worrying about what other people are doing at certain times and what or what they're doing on those days. Even if you have a similar format, if you're in the same like kind of content group, like I'm sorry, there's only so much valid content you can make. Like how many different versions of the debate show are there? Like I mean, there's a lot, but there's only a finite amount. You're gonna copy somebody at some point, like in some way, right? And so, and like the other thing is what time. Like I've been playing with the times. At first I tried doing prime time. Didn't work. I didn't have a big enough audience. Nobody wanted to watch it. So I picked, okay, after prime time ends, I'm going to pick 7 o'clock, 7:30. Well, that didn't work at first. So I started doing like 8, 10 o'clock. Well, then my audience got big enough that I started come back from like 10 o'clock and started doing 7:30. And now I go 7:30 till like 4 a.m. every night, like kind of thing. But I usually do like shows like on these days at that time, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Well, now I'm doing 5 o'clock shows. And it's like, oh, well, am I stepping on toes here when I do it? I mean, you know what? At some point you have to be like, no. Like I at first I felt bad even asking people I knew had shows at that time. Generally, like I didn't even want to ask, like, for example, I'll use Wick because Wick and I would do a lot of shows together, right? I asked Wick, hey, I'm going to do a show on Wednesday at this time. I know that's when you usually stream. I apologize. I don't want to like, step on any toes or anything, but I am doing this time. I'd like you to be a part of it. And he's like, oh, that's perfect. I can do that as my content too. And good, right? And like you ever worked, but if I'd done that maybe like 3-6 months prior, it might have like stepped on toes. But in reality, I probably shouldn't just worry about it. You just have to run your own shit, and like people are gonna have to be like okay with it. Like I think that's a big one. And secondly, you're absolutely right. It's like you're building your own audience, and I think that having the crossover community is like key, right? Like the fact that I if I'm doing comedy on Friday and my people don't want to watch comedy. Oh, Grid's got his debate show. I go over to Grid, support the homie, right? Like I can go watch whatever. Or there's more of this content and Gibbs has whatever. Or if something drama happens with Gibbs, they can be like, oh, did you see Gibbs and Connor go at it? Or like, oh, did you see Fabian last night do this with, whatever. Like, and then they can talk about it here, right? And it's like, oh, something happens over here. Then they talk about it. And this it's good for like to have it's like a rising tide lifts all boats. It's good for
that's my thing. Is rising tide lifts all the boats. And
now, if you work against us, I'm poking.
But I'm not specifically angling for any of that, right? Like, I'm happy to see those people because I know a lot. Those people come to my show, and I'm happy to see them. But I want Donovan. I want some of the people from Donovan Sharp's audience. I want people from Chaotic Truth. I want people from Hypnotic. I want these guys that have 100,000 viewers or 200,000 viewers or subscribers that have higher viewers. I want those people. I want 5 or 10 from that audience just to come over and check me out. And if I do that with enough people, then it's all good, right? So
I don't know. I think just talking. I also just like talking to new people. I like debating them and discussing ideas and learning stuff. Like that's the thing. I think really is my biggest thing.
I also don't like seeing the same people debate over and over, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do Prime Kai's every week because I don't want to be on there every week. I don't want to be I don't want to be what's his name? Blacktoid and who's the centrist? Ollie? Ollie, yeah. I want to be Ollie. I don't want to be Lactoid. I'm happy to go on. I'm going to go on there tonight. We're going to dust some liberal and left. And actually, I think Lactoid's going to end up siding with us because I don't see how.
I don't mind doing it every week, and I like doing it almost every week because one, it's gotten to the point since I've done it so many weeks now that like most people expect me there, right? And I can see that argument you're making, debating the same people, but he does bring new people on, and I think that I've carved out a good, like decent enough niche there that like it helps me get to other spots, right?
And, that's why I'm happy to go on there often. I just don't want to do it every week.
Right, every week. Yeah, no, I get it. And but the fact that he has me on there almost every week, I like it quite a bit because it's been convenient for me and it's done good numbers. And I've been growing along with him. But so like, like I always kind of like been a person that plays to like what is working. Like you play to the hot hand. Like this has been working for me. It's been consistently working for me. Like people took notice from this. I'm gonna keep playing it. And also, I like loyalty. Like if as long as he's asking me to still doing decent for me, I'm gonna do it. If I gets too big one way or another or something, then maybe I would change my mind and still like guest appearance or something. But like there's no reason for me to not do that, right? And it's like this guy got me on Tim Pool. Like that's a big get. Like I've got him on stuff. Like if you have a good working relationship with somebody, like hold on to those, right? Like that's something I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm glad that Prime thinks enough of me that he would recommend me to Tim Pool.
Right. He's definitely kind of like a loyalty to the group. Like he may have his things and he's gonna fight for his like arguments, but he's like, I would rather have my people, in there than like random Sally, you know what I'm saying? He likes to give the hand that's fed him kind of thing. And I can do business with those kind of people. It's the ones that are like purists over here that don't want to they're like, oh, send them to the camps if they make $1 billion. Like, I don't know. I can do business with those guys. Prime might be one of them, but until he's to be a capitalist until then, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm going to have an immigration panel debate because my chat is just going nuts right now.
I'll do. I love it. That's the one they always get me for is immigration. That's there's so few lefties. They all want to talk to tariffs and the economy. And bro, I gotta be honest. There's like maybe one that I would listen to then I would listen to their economic opinion and then decide it was wrong. Like the rest of them, I'm like, what have you done with your life, bro? Like, yeah, you don't do anything. And I'm supposed to take your economic
they're programmers,
opinions?
don't you know? They make a lot of money programming computers.
That's the guy I trust, bro. Like this guy working for McDonald's over here, and he's trying to learn me about fucking the economy, bro. Yeah, come on, bro.
Yeah, now that's actually that's a very good point.
They haven't been able. They've applied 100 places and haven't got a job, but they're gonna tell me how the economy works. Like, okay, buddy.
People have never had a job. I literally, I always like it when I love to play this card. When they get on to, well, you know, businessmen or what companies should do, and all of these, how these employers are just the devil. I'm like, well, have you ever employed anybody? And I'm like, I have. At one point in time, I had 60 people working for me. That's 60 people that their entire financial security revolved around me being good enough to keep them employed. And people don't realize that. People don't care about that. But that's the crux of it, right? I don't know how many people you have working your ranch, Gibbs, but I'm sure that come Friday,
I have like very few people working the ranch. It's maybe the family, but I'll tell you what, I got like 200 plus people working for me on fucking the B2B sales company. So there's
So if you suddenly one day called up and said, hey guys, we're shutting down, that's 200 people that wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, it'd be real bad, like for a lot of those people, and a lot of those people make a lot of money. Like, and this is the thing, like you don't have to do. So I'm in an industry where you can be a real terrible person. Like, like no joke. Mm-hmm. However, the reason that I have made as much money as I have is because like it's really easy not to be just the worst person in the world, right? And if you go in there and you're like, hey, I'm going to cut you a good deal, and you're going to save a fuck ton of money, and I'm going to make XYZ on it, and I'm not going to be predatory. These people are like, wow, how else? And then you come with them another offer with something, and you can keep doing it, and you actually try to do the things that you say you're going to do as a business. Wow, it's amazing. People recommend you to their friends. You pick up more of their business. It just goes on. It's a cycle. And and then you get richer. And like, this is just being a decent business. This isn't being like an amoral businessman. You're literally just doing what you're supposed to do. And like, all of a sudden,
anything more moral than employing.
Right. And you're literally just doing like what the barest minimum and not being evil. And suddenly you're expanding like crazy, right? And these people over here like, well, this guy's evil doing it. And I'm like, now in my industry, like I actually, you know what? I'm pro reparations. Did you know this? I've decided because in my industry, I do B2B services. Guess who's going to be trying to open up all the new businesses if they get reparations? Well, hell yeah, I'm going to be over there. Now, who's going to be over there hitting those businesses are going to be the real predatory people like me, and they're going to take advantage of these people, get them their services, bamboozle them, and then take advantage of them. And like, you're going to have me come in like later and save them. But like, yeah, I'm absolutely a fan because my industry would boom. Now, like, that's a situational one, right? But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's always like a something here, and they're just like, oh, it's evil. And it's like, you don't even have to be evil to make money. You just it's just because of people being evil, you're going to make money just by not being evil. Like, it's mind blowing. But they'll tell you that you're the bad guy because, you're willing to put in the work to get there. And like, you don't want to pay for somebody else to live off your teeth.
So what do you tell people when people are talking about immigrants to get due process, they have rights, they have all of this other stuff. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I mean, I'm not sold on like that. Like, if you're a legal alien, I'm not sold on the idea that the government can't be like, you're gone. Like, because you're here at our pleasure. I think you should have most of the rights. I mean, I like when we're talking about due process, when they're talking about with Garcia, he had his due process. He should have been kicked out the first time, but Biden then chose not to act on it in the 90 days, and then he got free, and now he's getting kicked out like he should have been the first time. And they're arguing, well, this is a due process. He didn't give this one little thing. Sorry, I'm not buying that. Like, you should have been gone the first time. I guess 2 wrongs equal a right in this situation for me. Like, I also don't know why, like, we need due process for everyone. Like when we go, okay, if I catch you as you jump over the border and can prove you're a Mexican national, I don't know why after that point we need to house you for another 6 months and have 3 more trials. Like maybe the process overall needs reforming, but like if I can prove you're not an American citizen, you can't. And I literally see you come over the border and we catch you as you land. I don't know why you need to be here 6 months after that. What is the reason? And they're like, well, we have to go through and make sure this XYZ. I'm like, no, we don't. We don't like. I saw like. Just by like I magically like parachuting in and landing doesn't make you suddenly this special thing unless you're Cuban, which is I guess is the exception. But the rest of them, no.
See, I guess my argument comes down to I'm not 100% sure that they are provided constitutional protection.
I don't know though. I don't know all that. I'm not going to pretend.
Yeah, I'm not up on it. I'm not clear.
But I tell you how I feel right now is that they're dying on these ant hills. They're making it into like mountains. Like, oh, hey, buddy, Khalil Garcia, he's a good guy. And then it finds out, he's beating his wife. He's a human trafficker. He's clearly tatted up. Like, and he's got a litany of other things. He was supposed to already have been deported. And they're like, well, he didn't get his due process because we didn't give him another 90-day warning. And, like this is what we call a ticky-tack baby back bullshit. Like, that's what that is. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I see that's an interesting perspective that I just, and this is all coming out because mostly of the gang members who technically should not have been given a trial anyway, because if the government finds that you are if you're breaking your asylum or you're a member of an anti-American or criminal entity, then you don't have any. You're gone. Like there's not even a question about it. Like there's no court needed, right? Like they don't. It's just the way it is. Let me read this really quick. $5 came in from the Raging Patriot, 1776. None of these border jumpers are leaving countries that are hostile. They're just looking for a free ride, EBD cards, welfare, and free stuff from the government. Yeah, I agree with that. And what's even more, I think, interesting right now is that we have people who are coming here because they've basically been told to come here.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. And like, this is the crazy thing. He came in and he stopped all of it at the border immediately. It was done overnight. Like it was proven it could be stopped. Like Abbott was already doing a good job, but like,
it went from like 9,000 a month to 178.
It's wild. Buckaroo, how you doing?
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Pretty all right.
We're at the end of the show, but you popped on. I was like, well, you might as well pop up for a minute and chat. Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Hold on. Somebody said they looked into the law. Where's the law? Mr. says yes. We looked up the law. I think it's 18 USC 2338 or something like that. Fomenting anti-government uprising while being illegal. Well, that's part of it, but there's another aspect is that if they're a member of a criminal, anti-American, or there's a third one. Basically, if you're in a gang or you're in foreign military army, or if you're in like if you're in a communist party, if you're Chinese and you're in the communist party,
I remember the Aliens Act.
Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, how's your day been, Bonsai?
Pretty chill, honestly. I haven't really gotten up to much. I've got some family stuff to do, so it's not exactly the most exciting day. So I'm glad I got to hop on and say hello to you guys.
Yeah. We'll be doing a debate tonight on Prime Kai.
Nice.
And
it's gonna be a good one, I think.
It's gonna be great.
What's the topic?
It's the it's like Epic City, I think it is. It's the Muslim city in Texas that's like being
proposed.
Yeah, proposed.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Very interesting.
It's got a lot of like cross sectional things, like I think, because like on one hand I want to be like, yeah, this shit, and then on the other hand I want to be like, no, not this shit. Like,
the libertarian argument is interesting because if the libertarians, I think, are going to say, well, government is illegal, or not, government is not illegal. Government shouldn't exist. Free society, free, whatever. And at the same time, they're championing a entity that wants to establish a foreign government in the United States, a form of government, right? So, or authority. So that's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Fabian and Blacktoid come at this. I think Fabian's going to resort to some government will exist regardless, and therefore you can't subvert the government of the country that you're in, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the I mean, they usually, I don't know. There's it's I don't know what they're gonna do. I know that I'm pretty conflicted on it the two different ways, but
I'm not conflicted.
We'll see. Oh, that's good. I'm glad
I'm not conflicted at all.
You're having a peace of mind. I'll tell you what I am going to do, though. I mean, actually, I take that back. I'm not conflicted. I know how I'm going to handle it. Is I'm going to always do what's best for Gibbs. In this case, it's going to be probably not be on their side. That would be my bet. Like now, I'm going to ponder that a little bit, and then I'm going to assume that it's going to be on the Abbott team, and that's going to be what's best for Gibbs. Because but that's just random assumptions.
$2 from the Raging Patriot, 1776. If that cat could talk, he'd be in trouble. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, my cat. Anytime I move, she takes it as time to request attention. It's great. She's gotten to a point where she gets on her back legs and like taps my side. Like she'll pop her head up like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cats have gotten since one cat got sick and he got like better, he's been like way more needy. I'm like, bro, I need you to calm down.
Settle down.
Yeah, like it's all right, buddy. Your life didn't almost end.
Yeah, I'm kind of I want another pet just because she's so needy. I know she would benefit from it.
I have a husky, and you don't know what needy is.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's another level of needy.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a dog because that like the cats, like even as needy they are, I can be like, go away. I have like big cats. They're like 16-pound cats. Like
I saw that.
I can like
that's a good workout.
They're not overweight though. The doctors, were like, part Maine Coon, so they can be bigger. I was like, okay, good. But I like, I can put them away. It's a cat. It's not a husky. Husky's getting like in your face.
Oh yeah, the husky takes no.
Loud.
The husky takes no as a challenge.
Yeah, I had to babysit my friend's husky for like a month. Like 2 months, recently, and I was like, bro, this is something. Like, and they're too smart.
Yeah. They're really smart, and they just have so much energy as well. The Huskies
are the best.
They are beautiful. They're like amazing dogs. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. My cat's going crazy right now. I don't know what's up with her. We have the Huskies at UW football, University of Washington. They are the Huskies. So I think we see a slightly higher rate of Huskies here. And yeah, I've never heard of
it's also cold.
A chill husky. They're all insane.
A husky is chill though. She is hilarious. I took her to the vet, and the vet is like shocked. He's like, your dog acts like a lab or something. Like, yeah, no, she's really chill until she doesn't want to be chill. And then she's like, she whines, she complains. She will literally force you to pet her.
Yep. Yeah, my dog, he like howls when everybody else is out of the house. If he thinks he's alone, he'll just start howling.
My friend, she had a dog. This is a really good one. She it's like most animals. I'm usually an animal guy. Like 95% of animals, they love me. This dog, for whatever reason, just like loves everybody else, hates me. And I'm like, okay, I can't figure out why. I've tried bribing it with the treats, whatever. So be it. So she like gets a new house with her family. And I go over there, and they have like her dad has like 6 dogs. I go inside, and all the dogs like come running up, and they're all letting me pet it. And then this dog sees all of them getting pet, and comes sprinting up, and then like sees me, and like starts like trying to scooch away as fast as possible, like barking at me. And the other dogs are all like all of a sudden real confused. One's on his back getting belly. I was like, oh no, he's barking at it. Do I bark too? It was so funny. But yeah, I don't know. Like some dogs just that one that's the only dog. I can't figure out why it didn't like me. I'm so sad.
A past life, some sort of a traumatic past life experience.
Me,
must be, yeah.
it was probably Cortez was my ancestor, and it was probably Montezuma. You know what I'm saying? He got him. He remembers.
I gotta ask. You were on the panel the other day for a good while. What did you think of the format and all of it?
I really liked it. I was talking. Who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Sparky, Jason, and Tyler last night, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting and fun, honestly. Oh my gosh.
Good.
Well, that's what we want. I want funny and interesting, and like all of it. That was it was sick. That was the purpose.
And I liked that everybody got notes afterwards, because then it's like something immediately actionable.
Yeah, the immediate feedback things are great, right?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. And I do actually think the judges they at least seemed pretty unbiased.
Well, nobody's unbiased, but they admit their biases, and they work within the parameters of the judging, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they would just be like, "Well, I'm biased this way, but this is what I think," and I think that's like the best way to approach judging.
Well, I think it's I really like the judges I have. Of course, I've always said that I have just the best chat. I've been all over the internet, and I have really good. Most of the people who come here and chat are really cool. We get a few like outliers like Imperious and some of those guys, but for the most part, we got pretty good guys. So
I like some of my trolls. Some of them are pretty funny. I have this one guy that keeps going in here every day, and he's asking me where my Zionist handler is at. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I wouldn't mind some Jew gold. Come find it for me. If you get his number, let me know. I'm gonna call him up.
Got to be honest. The trolls don't last long in my chat because my chat will tear them apart. So
nice.
I have a good time with some of them. Some of them are good. Some of them are not. But if some of them, like that one's pretty funny. I'm like every time he pops in doing that, like I'm like, all right, I got a bit I can do for like 20 minutes now.
Well,
yeah.
Jack M. Sheridan always asks me who my Chinese handler is because my wife is Chinese.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. You working for the Communist Party? Now I got questions, bro. Yeah. Now it's suspicious. Wait, maybe we need to check what stocks he owned. Hey, does Alibaba?
Actually, I don't own any stocks because my wife was in investment banking, and
now you're not really helping the allegations now, bro.
So I couldn't own any stocks. I do, however, we own property in China.
Oh,
I'm trying to buy property in Japan and
I don't know. Maybe we need to be watching the grid over here a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you totally should.
Look
watch
all the red
me
in his
every
background.
hour. Watch every hour of my show twice.
Hey, listen, I can say I'm only Texan funded. We can't say that on grid. He might be Chinese paid. We have Connor with Progressive Victory. We got the Communist Party over here. I'm backed by Texas money. You'll back.
I wish I could. The thing is that the Communist Party won't. They don't care anything about me, so they won't give me any money. I want them to. They won't.
They might use you as like bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Israel did with Epstein or whatever. They're gonna be like, they're gonna use you to like trap people. Get them.
Wish. I was, and I still am. I'm trying to shape my, especially the daytime show, into something that a PAC will pay me during the midterms to do. So
Yeah, I gotta be honest. That's something I've been interested in. Like they would have to like basically match my views. Like they would, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna like take money from. Well, I take that back. Listen, Progressive Victory. If there is a number that you can pay me, I will tell you that.
Just as hard as Connor has.
I swear to God, Admiral Libs will be a real thing. I'll be in a heart. There is a number, and if you see me switch, just know I got that number. All right, but it is substantial. So just know, there's a number, boys.
You heard it here first, folks. He can be bought.
Absolutely, bro.
maybe not bought, but he can certainly be rented.
Yeah, they're gonna pay me that number for in a period, bro. It is a lot. Let me tell you, a lot of zeros. But I don't think they're gonna pay me that. So until then, know that I'm getting paid by nobody.
Yeah, So it annoys me that the left went after Lauren Chen and whatever the name that setup she had, because they were here in Nashville, and of course they were giving Tim Pool money. They were giving 2 or 3. I was like, am I on the list? I just want to know. Tenant Media. I just want to know if I'm on the list. Can I get on the list? How do I get on the list? And but of course they shut them down because in theory they were Russian funded, but the reality is that they were 2 like retired Russian people who were basically helping Russian businesses invest in the U.S. and that was
he's over here getting communist funding, maybe Russian funding.
Man.
But if he gets enough money from enough sources, at some point, does it cancel out? If they're all against one another.
I didn't. At first, this is the craziest part about with being communist. I was one of the few people that defended taking money from them. I was like, listen, if someone's gonna get you a check to say shit, and like this is your career saying shit, cool, so be it. At least he admitted it. The problem was he didn't want to admit it, right? Like it was versus like Wick, who was like day one was like, yeah, sponsored by Progressive Victory. That's one thing. Be like, hey, these are the guys paying me.
Yeah. That's actually one of the few reasons why I do have some respect for Wick. I have zero respect for Connor.
Yeah, there's Connor who tried oh, I didn't get it. Oh, I was just paid to be a security guard. Now it's like, oh, now I'm doing this. Now I'm working for Midas Touch, another leftist group. It's like, and then he's like, oh, I'm trying to represent the right wing space, and this is what I'm providing. And then you look up Midas Touch, and it's like ultra left progressive group.
I follow Midas Touch on YouTube to see what they're saying.
It's wild, and I'm just like, come on, man, this is clearly a bait and switch. It's real nefarious. I mean,
I have all of the things against me, right? I'm old.
I would brag about it. I'd be like, sponsored by so and so. I put it big bold letters.
I would too. I'd be like, right down there. I'd have my NASCAR shirt out.
Yeah, I'd probably make merch. I'd probably make merch with the money they paid me. I'd be like, yeah, that's right. I got one of these. You not shit. How do you like the way that dick tastes?
You guys understand that the Grid One Motorsports, that was my company's name. Like I
assumed it was something tangential.
Yeah, I did that. I ran various motorsports operations for a number of years. I owned a race team. I owned the several shops. At one point in time, I had 60 people working for me, and so I know exactly how sponsorship works. I understand how to make partnerships work. I understand how to orchestrate the deals that people don't see. And the best thing is I know how to argue because I've spent like half my life arguing rule books and getting and not only would I would argue that we could do it. That's my wife. We could do it. You couldn't. You guys chat for a minute while I.
Well, I actually have to step out. I do have an appointment I have to make here before we do the 7:00 battle. So y'all be good. It's been very nice being on here. Thank you so much, Buckaroo. I will see you soon.
Gibbs, have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Grant. This has been fun. Yeah, check me out. I'm trying to get the YouTube monetized, so that was word salad. Right? Monetized. So check me out on YouTube. Yeah, it's Admiral Gibbs. I never posted there really before the Temple thing. So I went from 48 people to 1,000 people after one stream. So I was like, oh, okay. So I might as well get
you just need the watch hours.
Yeah, now I just need the watch hours, which is nothing. So yeah, go check it out, follow, watch.
I'm at 14,000.
I have faith in you. We're about to blow up. We're about to take off. But thank you so much, man. You be good.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day. Banshee, I'm going to have to take off here in just a couple of minutes, but it'd be great if you could come on, assuming that I have a show Wednesday night, which I may not. It'd be great if you want to come on Wednesday night. We'll have a discussion. You can tell me all about your leftist ideals, and I can throw them back in your face.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a Gibbs panel. I'm trying to remember the exact time. 7:30 Central. But then, other than that, yeah, that's all I have though. So if there's
maybe if I stream Friday, I'm traveling this week. I just but my week is like gone from like solid, know where I'm going to go to nothing is set in stone. Like all melted down, which is fine. We can deal with it.
Yeah, we can message about it because I'm not. I don't really have that much of a life. I'm not gonna lie. My life is very boring. That's why I love streaming so much. Why I'm dedicating more time to streaming now.
Stupid busy. I have no idea why I do this, but it's fun. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Buckaroo Banshee, who has been on the show just a very short period of time. She'll be back, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show today, and I have had a great time. I hope you have too. It looks like there was a lot of really good debating in the chat, so save some of that up so we can debate on Friday night or Saturday night, whichever night we end up doing it this week. Otherwise, pay attention to the notifications, guys, because this is going to be a wild week. And if you can't find me or if you want to know more, check the Discord. I'm going to be posting in there all week. As always, guys, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them.